Chapter 2073. It's Lan Ling. Yang Ming picked up the phone and said after glancing at it. Pick it up quickly. It seems that there's news from Lan Ling. Xia Shui saw Lan Ling's phone and was a little excited. After all, this represented hope. Yang Ming nodded and picked up the phone. Lan Ling. How is it? Yang Ming, I'm sorry. I can't convince Lan Miao Village to help you. I've tried my best, but there's really nothing I can do. Lan Ling said with some distress. It's nothing. I already expected this result. After Yang Ming heard Lan Ling's words, he comforted her easily. Didn't you tell me before? It's okay. I understand the situation of Lan Miao Village. But it's okay. I'm here to help you. I'm almost at the vicinity of Abnormal Miao Village. Once I'm there, I'll sneak in secretly. Once the fight starts, I'll help at the side. Lan Ling said. Ah. You're here. You're alone. After Yang Ming heard Lan Ling's words, he was shocked. At the same time, he was touched. Lan Miao Village didn't agree to Lan Ling's proposal, but Lan Ling came to Abnormal Miao Village by herself. And I'm alone. I've said it before. I want to fight with you. Lan Ling said firmly. Good. Let's fight together. After listening to Lan Ling's words, Yang Ming couldn't help but feel his blood boiling. Yes, the two of them met here, and in the end, they came back here. It started here and ended here. Let's fight side by side and eliminate Elder Yu. How's the situation on your side? There's no news on my side for now. It seems that Abnormal Miao Village is celebrating. Is it because they're celebrating that they caught you? Lan Ling asked. I'm not sure about this. It should be so. But Elder Yu is eating now. After he finishes eating, I'll inform you immediately. Said Yang Ming. Okay, I'll wait for your news here. Lan Ling nodded. Yang Ming hung up the phone and couldn't help but smile bitterly. To be honest, he didn't want Lan Ling to participate, but Lan Ling was already here. Yang Ming also knew Lan Ling's character. It was absolutely impossible for her to go back, so he could only let her participate. What's wrong? Look at you frowning. You don't want your little lover to take the risk. Xia Shui saw Yang Ming's appearance and felt a burst of anger in her heart for no reason. Lan Ling. She should have waited for Lan Miao Village to be confident before attacking together with them. She shouldn't have come here alone. Yang Ming nodded and said, she is different from us. We don't have the confidence, but this is our mission, our duty. But she's different. There's no need for her to get involved. Are you worried about her? Xia Shui snorted. Why? Are you jealous? Yang Ming looked at Xia Shui's appearance and couldn't help but ask with a smile. Both of them were locked in a cage at the same time. This reminded Yang Ming of the time when both of them were locked in the Wang family's base at the same time. That time, both of them were also like this. Other than bickering, all they did was bicker. How am I? Why would I be jealous of you? Xia Shui snorted and asked. Actually, I care about you too. Previously, when everyone fainted, the first person I saved was you. Yang Ming shrugged and explained helplessly. You value your lover over your friends. Xia Shui gave Yang Ming an evaluation. Yang Ming widened his eyes. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How did I become someone who values his lover over his friends again? He was obviously comforting her, but in the end, he got such an evaluation in return. Lu Yezi, Feng Tianlong, and Xiao Susu were all covering their mouths and laughing at the side. Seeing the two of them, the originally tense atmosphere eased a lot. What are you quacking for? Are you a duck? Quack, quack. Xia Shui stared at Yang Ming. Ahem, ahem. Yang Ming coughed awkwardly. Pretend that I didn't say anything. After Elder Yu had his fill, he and Leader Ku walked towards the mutated Miao Village's prison. Are they all poisoned by your goo? Elder Yu frowned and asked. Yes, they are all poisoned by my goo. Even if they wake up now, they will be completely powerless. After a while, they will become paralyzed and will never be able to get up again. Leader Ku said proudly. What a pity. I wanted to use them as test subjects and capture them to study the goo poison. Elder Yu sighed, forget it. These are just a few useless people. It's fine to capture them. What kind of goo did you use? Can I undo it? It's a type of goo poison that can make people lose their strength. It's a beginner advanced goo technique. For Elder Yu, it shouldn't be a problem. Leader Ku said. Oh, that's easy. I'll deal with it when I get back. Yang Ming and the others can't be killed yet. Since we captured them alive, we'll keep them in our hands and use them as bargaining chips with the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and Blue Miao Village. Elder Yu was very happy to have captured Yang Ming and the others alive. In his opinion, Yang Ming was the son-in-law of Blue Miao Village. When the time comes to threaten Blue Miao Village with Yang Ming, Blue Miao Village would definitely have some scruples. The others would be the same. With them here, Xia Bingbao wouldn't dare to send people to act rashly. This way, Elder Yu could concentrate on his cultivation until the Jin Gang Gu was refined. By then, he would be invulnerable and would not be afraid of anyone. Elder Yu, this way please. They are locked in the cell over there. Leader Ku pointed to the largest cell and said to Elder Yu. At this time, Yang Ming saw the conversation between Elder Yu and Leader Ku. He didn't miss a single word. Yang Ming also quickly thought of the most reliable plan. Elder Yu, this time, just wants to bring us back, not kill us all. Yang Ming quickly conveyed Elder Yu's message to the rest of his teammates. Elder Yu's meaning is to use us as a bargaining chip to threaten Lan Miao Village and Captain Xia so that both parties won't act rashly. Moreover, we can also be used to test his voodoo. Oh. In other words, this time, our lives won't be in danger. Lu Yezi asked. Yes, our lives won't be in danger, so even if we aren't an opponent, we shouldn't have an attitude of death. If we aren't an opponent, we should just surrender. By then, it won't be too late to think of a solution. Yang Ming nodded and said, as long as we don't die, there will always be a chance. That's true. But for Lan Ling's side, shouldn't you tell her? Xia Shui asked. I'll call Lan Ling now. Yang Ming nodded and dialed Lan Ling's phone. Yang Ming, how is it? Has Elder Yu started to act? Lan Ling asked after picking up the phone. Chapter 2074. Oh. If that's the case, then I'm relieved. It seems that I don't have to fight so hard. At least, even if I can't win, I won't die. Lan Ling was relieved, but there was one thing that Lan Ling didn't say. Even if she was caught by Elder Yu, she would be with Yang Ming. As long as she was with Yang Ming, she would be happy. Well, it's good that you can think like this. Yang Ming was also relieved. Yang Ming was also afraid that Lan Ling would fight with Elder Yu. If a tragedy happened, Yang Ming didn't know what to do. I have now sneaked into the vicinity of the prison of Abnormal Miao Village. There are very few guards here. I have already hidden behind the prison, said Lan Ling. The prison of Abnormal Miao Village was located at the edge of the village, and it was made of solid reinforced concrete, so there was no need to worry about anyone escaping. It was normal that there were no guards here. This made it convenient for Lon Ling to come here and hide without any hindrance. Elder Yu is already here. In a while, I will prepare to launch a sneak attack. If the sneak attack is successful, you quickly come to the side and be ready to help. My people will continue to attack him when I launch the sneak attack. Yang Ming divided the work in a few words. But once it fails, you don't have to come out for the time being. Wait for the opportunity to move. There is only one chance to launch a sneak attack. Once Elder Yu is vigilant, it won't be so easy. That's right. Elder Yu is now practicing the sinister voodoo. Although it is an incomplete version of the Jin Gang voodoo and has not reached the state of invulnerability at any time, as long as he is vigilant and uses the sinister voodoo, he will be in an invincible state during that period of time. Only the Herculean voodoo can break it. Lon Ling also said solemnly. I know. I will seize this opportunity. As for what Lon Ling said about Elder Yu, Yang Ming had heard about it before. At this time, Lon Ling said it to remind him not to act rashly. If he continued to fight with Elder Yu, Yang Ming couldn't afford to fight, especially when Elder Yu had the sinister voodoo. How could he fight? Therefore, the only way was to end the battle quickly. There was no other way. At this moment, Elder Yu, stockade leader Ku, and Brother Wan had already walked to the door of the prison cell. Yang Ming hurriedly said in a low voice, "Let's stop talking and start preparing." All right. Lon Ling hung up the phone. On Yang Ming's side, he bit his finger without hesitation and sent the blood into the mouths of every member. At this time, the sound of the door opening came from outside the cell. Click. The lock on the cell door was unlocked. Elder Yu was about to open the door and walk in, but a subordinate brought by Elder Yu beat him to it. Elder Yu, let me go and take a look first. This Yang Ming is very cunning. It would be bad if he launched a sneak attack. Although Elder Yu is not necessarily afraid of him, let me do it for you. All right. Elder Yu nodded. He thought, Yang Ming, this kid, is really hard to say. What if he sneak attacks me? Stockade leader Ku was also shocked. He thought to himself, Yang Ming won't pretend to faint again, right? Previously, Yang Ming pretended to faint to trick him, which made him feel a little scared. Now, he thought, would Yang Ming do it again? Didn't Yang Ming want to deal with Elder Yu? Thinking of Yang Ming's interrogation of Elder Yu's whereabouts, stockade leader Ku felt that his guess was quite reasonable. As long as Yang Ming pretended to faint and came to mutated Miao village with him, then waited here for Elder Yu to come to him, wouldn't he be able to see Elder Yu? Thinking of this, stockade leader Ku felt that it was more possible. If not, why would Yang Ming unseal all his acupuncture points? How could there be such a coincidence? With Yang Ming's cunning mind, how could he make such a careless mistake? Cold sweat appeared on stockade leader Ku's forehead, but then he thought, how could Yang Ming be so sure that Elder Yu would definitely come to him? How could he be so sure that he wouldn't directly kill Yang Ming and the others? He didn't know that Yang Ming had been paying attention to his conversation with Elder Yu. If Elder Yu didn't come, stockade leader Ku would kill Yang Ming first. Then, Yang Ming would open the door lock first and rush out with his people to kill stockade leader Ku first. Although the door lock was strong, it wasn't difficult for Yang Ming to open it, so it wasn't a problem. Stockade leader Ku wanted to remind Elder Yu, but when he saw Elder Yu's subordinates, he closed his mouth. What else could he say? Anyway, he had already captured Yang Ming and brought him here. Here, he was officially handed over to Elder Yu. If there were any problems, it wouldn't be his fault. That was Elder Yu's own problem, so what did it have to do with him? Elder Yu's subordinates opened the door of the cell. There was no sneak attack as expected, but there was silence. Yang Ming had already seen that it was Elder Yu's subordinates who opened the door, and not Elder Yu himself. So, he didn't have any thoughts of getting up to attack. He was like the rest of the team members, sitting on the ground, listlessly looking up at the door of the cell. Ha! It really is Yang Ming. Seeing Yang Ming sitting on the ground in the cell, Elder Yu finally nodded. This person was really Yang Ming. Elder Yu. Yang Ming looked at Elder Yu and asked listlessly. Ha, Yang Ming, we finally meet, but I didn't expect that it would be under such circumstances. Elder Yu laughed and walked into the cell. Seeing that Yang Ming was reduced to a prisoner, he suddenly had an indescribable sense of refreshment. Yawn. Yang Ming yawned and said listlessly, Yes, we meet again, what do you want? Go back with me, I won't kill you. I just need some people to test the poison, you guys are just right. Elder Yu said lightly, tie them up and bring them back. Yes. The subordinates nodded. I'll help. Stockade leader Ku and brother Wan also quickly said. Elder Yu turned around and was about to walk out of the cell. However, at this moment, Yang Ming, who was originally listless, suddenly moved. Yang Ming jumped up. He was no longer as dispirited as before. He was like a tiger that wanted to hunt its prey. He suddenly leaped toward Elder Yu's back. In this short period of time, Yang Ming also had a dagger in his hand. His left hand formed a fist, and his right hand held the dagger. Yang Ming made two preparations. He was afraid that he couldn't kill Elder Yu in one hit, so he wanted to attack Elder Yu from multiple directions and kill him. Elder Yu, be careful. Stockade leader Ku and Elder Yu subordinates shouted at the same time, but their shouts were too late, they couldn't catch up with Yang Ming's speed. Chapter 2075. Although the speed of sound was theoretically far faster than the speed of a person's movement, it took a certain amount of time for a person to react and speak. In this short time, Yang Ming had already arrived behind Elder Yu. Yang Ming didn't care whether Elder Yu's underlings saw it or not. What he wanted to do was to deliver a fatal blow. As long as Elder Yu was injured or disabled, then everyone would attack together. With Lan Ling's help, they would have the confidence to kill him in one fell swoop. However, Yang Ming's plan was good, but the situation might not develop in the direction that Yang Ming expected. There was a good saying, man proposes, God disposes. No matter how good Yang Ming was at scheming, this time, he could only admit defeat. Bang! Gotcha! There were two sounds. The first sound was the sound of Yang Ming's fist hitting Elder Yu's back. This was the sound of a solid punch. As an assassin, he had made such an overbearing punch. If it were an ordinary person, he would definitely be killed by Yang Ming. In Yang Ming's opinion, Elder Yu would definitely die if he suffered such a blow. However, Yang Ming was still not at ease, so the next knife cut on Elder Yu's neck. But this time, an accident happened. Yang Ming used all his strength, but the dagger still did not pierce Elder Yu's neck. Instead, it broke with a gotcha sound. Ah! Yang Ming was suddenly shocked. His figure quickly retreated, and he thought that it was not good. This situation only explained one problem. That was, Elder Yu was already alert and made a corresponding defense. He should have used sinister voodoo and become invulnerable. Therefore, his previous punch was very likely to be in vain. It had no effect on Elder Yu at all. However, although Yang Ming retreated in a hurry, his chest was still hit by Elder Yu's fierce punch. Although Elder Yu did not know any martial arts, at this moment, his fist was like an iron fist. Yang Ming retreated with all his strength without any defense. The consequences of this punch could be imagined. Puff! Yang Ming, who had retreated to the foot of the wall behind him, spat out a mouthful of blood and looked at Elder Yu in shock. Ha 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 ha. Elder Yu turned around and laughed wildly at Yang Ming. Yang Ming, how is it? Is it cool? The sneak attack failed, and you got beaten instead. This taste is very cool, right? Humph. Yang Ming frowned and did not answer. However, in his heart, he was indeed very depressed. For a long time, Yang Ming had been doing things smoothly and dealing with enemies. There were almost no major setbacks. Along the way, Yang Ming had developed strong self-confidence. Whether it was facing the private armed forces in Island X or facing the steel monster Jetson in Europe, Yang Ming was full of confidence. In the end, he completed the mission safely. But this time, Yang Ming failed. Elder Yu did not succeed in his sneak attack. Not only that, but Yang Ming was also punched by Elder Yu. Although the injury was not very serious, Yang Ming felt uncomfortable in his heart. After all this, his plan still failed. Isn't it strange that I found out about your sneak attack and used sinister voodoo in advance? You know, my sinister voodoo's charging time is 60 seconds, but I was prepared in advance. Elder Yu looked at Yang Ming proudly. Yang Ming, this time, when we fought, you lost at the beginning. I have to say, Elder Yu, I underestimated you. Since the sneak attack failed, Yang Ming could only recognize the reality. However, Elder Yu's sinister voodoo also had a time limit. It was impossible to keep it on him. Although Yang Ming did not know how long this time was, Lan Ling should know that as long as he delayed long enough to lure Lan Ling out to deal with Elder Yu, he still had a chance to turn the tables. Yeah, I have to say, Yang Ming, I overestimated you. You have disappointed me. Elder Yu said faintly, you were caught on the first day in Miaojiang. You are considered powerful enough. I was caught on purpose. I wanted to lure you out and then sneak attack you. Yang Ming glanced at Stockade Master Ku and said frankly, at least, he can't catch me. So that's how it is. I was wondering, how could he catch you with his insignificant skills? Elder Yu nodded. His heart felt a lot better. So it was Yang Ming who took the initiative to capture them. Then it was not Fort Leader Ku's credit. Yes, his voodoo skills are not enough to deal with me, Yang Ming nodded and said. He was trying to delay as much time as possible. Stockade Master Ku's face was a little ugly. He did not expect Yang Ming to admit this in public. If that was the case, could Elder Yu still fulfill his promise? Thinking of this, Stockade Master Ku could not help but ask, Elder Yu. Anyway, I brought Yang Ming here. I should be credited. Don't worry, I will not mistreat you. I will still agree to the conditions I told you before. Just don't take credit for yourself in the future. If you want to deal with Yang Ming, you are still too far away. Elder Yu said this to show that he was superior. It was impossible for Stockade Master Ku to deal with Yang Ming, but he, Elder Yu, saw through Yang Ming's plan and injured Yang Ming. How did you know that I was going to sneak attack you? Yang Ming was very grateful to Master Ku. You are such a good person. Not only did you recommend me to Elder Yu, but you are also stalling for time for me. No matter whether I succeed or not this time, it is all because of your contribution. Yang Ming was very grateful to Master Ku. Why don't you think about what I do? I can tell at a glance whether you are poisoned with voodoo or not. Although all of you look lishless, I can't see what kind of voodoo you are poisoned with. Other than the voodoo from Blue Meow Village in your body, there are no other voodoo poisons. Elder Yu sneered and said, what does this mean? You are not poisoned with voodoo, but you are still pretending to be lishless. There must be a problem, so I did not expose you. I wanted to see what kind of tricks you are going to play, but I secretly used the voodoo to protect myself. So there is a problem, right? You even sneak attacked me. Does it feel good to fail? I see, I neglected this point. Yang Ming sighed that he was still inexperienced and did not understand these voodoo things. It turned out that whether a person was poisoned with voodoo or not, it was impossible to hide in front of these powerful people. It could not be deceived. Unless it is that kind of top-level voodoo, I can't see it. But this kind of top-level voodoo, I know that it is my Jean Gang voodoo. Stockade Master Ku obviously does not know this kind of high-level voodoo, so there is only one answer. You are not poisoned with voodoo, or it has been removed. Elder Yu looked at Yang Ming and said word by word. Chapter 2076. After listening to Elder Yu's words, Yang Ming understood. It turned out to be like this. No wonder he prepared in advance. It turned out that he already knew that I and the others were not poisoned by voodoo. Elder Yu was a person who was proficient in this. No matter how well Yang Ming pretended, he was still a little weak in front of Elder Yu. Thinking of this, Yang Ming couldn't help but smile bitterly and said, "It turned out to be like this. I admit defeat. I didn't consider this point. It was my negligence. So, Yang Ming, you are a failure as a person." Elder Yu laughed. With your level, in fact, I didn't treat you as an opponent from the beginning. But out of fear, I still set up some small obstacles for you. I didn't expect that these obstacles would actually make you stronger and braver. This is where I failed. Elder Yu laughed out loud. Oh. Yang Ming was slightly stunned. As the saying goes, adversity breeds talent. If I hadn't been so meddlesome and created so much trouble for you, allowing you to live a smooth life, perhaps you wouldn't have grown up, and you wouldn't be standing against me today. Elder Yu said, I didn't expect the relationship between you and Lan Ling to be so solid. You didn't break up because of me. I'm impressed. Because of you. When did you want to break us up? Yang Ming was stunned and asked. When you first came to Yunnan, I noticed you. Elder Yu said faintly, Lan Ling's sixth sense is very strong, but didn't she tell you? The people with the orthodox bloodline of Lan Miao village all have the ability of sixth sense. My sixth sense is also very accurate. Oh. Yang Ming was a little surprised after listening to Elder Yu's words. You actually have a sixth sense. So, when I first came to Yunnan, you thought that I would pose a threat to you. Is that so? That's right. Elder Yu nodded and said, when I first saw you, I thought that you would become my stumbling block, so I didn't want you to participate in the dispute of Lan Miao village. At that time, I set up a little plan, but I didn't expect the result to be very surprising. What little trick? Yang Ming asked calmly. However, what made Yang Ming somewhat puzzled was that Elder Yu was actually talking to him here. It seemed that Elder Yu had a lot of things to say to his opponent. But on the other hand, wasn't Elder Yu afraid that his sinister voodoo would fail when the time was up? At that time, if he made a move, what would he use to defend himself? The plan is very simple. I have always had a partner. He is a godly thief. Elder Yu looked at Yang Ming and said faintly, I asked him to help me steal something from you and hide it, that piece of jade. Yang Ming suddenly remembered what he had lost in the past. Yes, it's that piece of jade. That piece of jade is quite valuable. I asked that person to steal it and hide it in your room. Elder Yu said, at that time, there were only you and Lan Ling in the room. If you didn't hide it, then it should be Lan Ling who hid it. You mean, you want me to misunderstand that Lan Ling is a greedy woman, and then cut off all contact with her? Is that so? Yang Ming asked with a smile, but why don't you think that I will think that the hotel waiter stole the jade, but he didn't have a place to store it temporarily, so he put it in the room temporarily and waited for us to leave before taking it away. That piece of jade was placed in Zhang Bin's room. If the waiter stole it, he might hide it in Zhang Bin's room, but how could he take it out and hide it in your room? It's completely illogical. Does it make sense for him to do this? I don't think you are stupid enough to guess that the waiter did it, right? Said Elder Yu. And then Yang Ming smiled. Yes, he didn't suspect that the waiter did it because that person wasn't a waiter. Then, the only people who could enter Zhang Bing's room without any hindrance were you and Lan Ling. The jade stone appeared in your and Lan Ling's room. If you weren't stupid and were good at reasoning, you should be able to guess that the person who stole the jade stone was Lan Ling. Elder Yu said, unfortunately, you didn't find that piece of jade. The subsequent plan can only be put on hold, but I don't understand. Why didn't you conduct a large-scale search at the beginning? Instead, you let this matter go. At that time, you were a person who didn't have much money. That piece of jade was priceless. How could you give it up? Oh, you don't understand. Yang Ming smiled faintly. I will slowly solve your doubts, but you better tell me first. Who is your partner? Is it the behind-the-scenes boss who often deals with me? Behind-the-scenes boss. You can call him that. As for who he is, I don't want to tell you for the time being. When Elder Yu said this, he couldn't help but laugh. This is a secret, a big secret, but I don't want to tell you yet. Once I tell you, you will be very shocked. For so long, you have been played in the palm of someone's hand. Really? Unfortunately, I probably already know who that person is, but I'm not sure. But now that you said it, I can be sure. Yang Ming said with a smile. Don't try to trick me. It's useless. If you know, just say it yourself. If you are right, I will never deny it. Elder Yu thought that Yang Ming was just trying to trick him. He didn't believe that Yang Ming would keep this person and not eliminate him if he knew who this person was. Well, let's talk about the reason why I didn't suspect Lan Ling first. Yang Ming nodded and said, first of all, Lan Ling is my woman. I believe in her. What kind of reason is this? Aren't you too blindly confident? Elder Yu was stunned and said, just because of this. You know, if you are too confident, you will be blinded. Many women are very materialistic. Haven't you heard that song? What is that fungus song? Damn! Yang Ming suddenly felt a little dizzy. He didn't expect Elder Yu to know this. What's wrong? Are you not confident? Elder Yu laughed and asked. Of course not. What I said before was the first point. There are more. I will analyze it for you bit by bit. Yang Ming waved his hand and continued, the second point is very important. When I found this jade, I promised Lan Ling that I would use this jade to carve a jade pendant for her. If you are not a fool, you should know that I wanted to give Lan Ling something, but she still stole it. Isn't that crazy? Do you think Lan Ling will do such a stupid thing? If she wants it, she can ask me. Will I not give it to her? Chapter 2077. It turns out that there is such a thing. You are quite generous. You just met your girlfriend for a few days, and you gave her a piece of jade. It is my mistake. Elder Yu nodded. But since this is the case, you wanted to give this jade to Lan Ling. Why didn't you look for it? This kind of gift that you want to give to your girlfriend should be very important, right? But you lost it just like that. That's not normal at all. You also noticed that it is abnormal. Yang Ming smiled and said, it is normal that it is abnormal. If it is normal, it would be strange. Oh. Why do you say that? Elder Yu was a little upset that Yang Ming kept him in suspense. Because, I have already found where the jade is hidden. Yang Ming said faintly, it's just that I didn't take it out. You have found where the jade is. How is it possible? Elder Yu was stunned after listening to Yang Ming's words. First of all, I saw a familiar figure in that hotel. At that time, he was a waiter. The association knew about his professional identity. I guessed that this piece of jade was stolen by him. He stole this piece of jade without anyone noticing and put it in my room. I am afraid that he is the only one who can do this under my nose. Yang Ming said. Secondly, I know that someone wants to target me, or rather, target Lan Ling. I don't want others to worry about me, and I don't want Lan Ling to worry because of this matter, so I simply gave up on that piece of jade. I didn't expect it. Yang Ming, you are a very patient person. At that time, you were not very outstanding, but you had this kind of forbearance. It is not a coincidence that you can become my biggest enemy. Elder Yu sighed. Yang Ming's expression changed. Next, let's talk about the person who stole that piece of jade. If I guessed correctly, that person is my senior fellow apprentice, Dong Jun, right? Yang Ming looked at Elder Yu and said word by word. What? Elder Yu was taken aback. He looked at Yang Ming in disbelief and said in surprise, You know all about it. Yes, I know. Yang Ming nodded. It seems that I guessed right. I said that if you guessed it, then I will never deny it. Elder Yu nodded and said, That's right. It is indeed him. You guessed right. Since you guessed it, there's no point in me continuing to hide it, because I'm just in a cooperative relationship with him. Besides, his repeated failures in his plans have made me lose patience with him. However, it's a pity that even if you're sure, you won't be able to verify it with him. Because this time, you won't be able to return. Are you so sure that I will definitely lose to you and won't have a chance to return to Songjiang City? Yang Ming asked. It's useless to say anything. We will see when the time comes. Elder Yu said with a smile, So, you tell me first. Why do you doubt your senior fellow apprentice? As far as I know, your senior fellow apprentice is a low-key person, right? In the beginning, in the hotel in Yunnan, I saw a waiter and felt that his figure was very similar to him. However, in this world, there are more than one or two similar people. There are simply too many of them. Even celebrities can be found with the same face, let alone my senior fellow apprentice. So I only suspected it for a moment, and then I let it go. However, after this incident, many other things happened. These things were linked together, which made me lock my suspicion on my senior fellow apprentice, Dong Jun. Yang Ming had kept these secrets in his heart for a long time. At this time, he got confirmation from Elder Yu, so he said it all one by one. These things were not secrets, and Elder Yu was also an insider. The most important thing was that Yang Ming could rely on the analysis and memory of these things to achieve the purpose of delaying time. Since he didn't know how long Elder Yu's sinister voodoo could last, he could delay as much as possible to create a good opportunity for Lan Ling. Really? You can actually suspect him. It's really not simple. Then tell me, how did you suspect him? Elder Yu asked curiously. As you said, my senior fellow apprentice, Dong Jun, is a low-key person. As the number one thief, he gave all the stolen money to poor people. This is very commendable. In the eyes of my master and I, he has always been a selfless person. Yang Ming said, however, there were several things that changed my view of him. The first time, he drove a limited edition sports car. I can't remember exactly what type of car it was because I didn't care much about sports cars and things like that. However, such a person with no selfish desires actually drove a limited edition sports car. Is this normal? This shows that he still has selfish desires. Once he has selfish desires, then he will be greedy. This greed is magnified to a certain extent, and he will do something that harms the interests of others. Oh. Sports car. Elder Yu was stunned. He didn't expect Yang Ming to be able to see a person's character from such a small detail. This doesn't mean anything, right? Maybe he has a hobby in this area. Forget about one or two things. There are many such things. Yang Ming smiled and continued, for example, there was another time when I went to the hospital for something, but Dong Jun told me that he knew the doctors in the hospital and was very familiar with them. He also told me that he had a lot of acquaintances in Songjiang City. A great philanthropist who does good deeds without leaving a name. How does he know people from all walks of life? If it is not a deliberate operation, what is the explanation? These things are not consistent with the character he created himself. At first, he gave me the impression that he was a good person who stood aloof from worldly affairs. He was a great philanthropist who did good deeds without leaving a name, did not fight for fame and fortune. But according to my observation, the fact is the opposite. He is a very greedy person who values interpersonal relationships very much. Sure enough, you are worthy of being the direct disciple of the King of Assassins. This analytical ability is also first class. You can actually analyze this person's character. Elder, you couldn't help but admire, yes, even if he is a hypocritical person, then why do you suspect that he is the behind-the-scenes boss and wants to deal with you? You know, a hypocritical character and him wanting to deal with you have nothing to do with it, right? No, you are wrong. There is naturally a relationship between this, and it has a lot to do with it. Yang Ming said faintly, as the direct disciple of the King of Assassins, Fang Tian, I have a posture of inheriting the mantle and surpassing him, which makes him instinctively feel threatened. I think this is the fundamental reason why he wants to deal with me. Chapter 2078. Amazing. Elder Yu clapped his hands in appreciation. If you can be my military advisor with your analytical ability, it will really make me like a tiger that has grown wings. Yang Ming, I can't even bear to deal with you. You are really a talent. Not only are you good at martial arts, but your IQ is also not low. From a silly young man who could be tricked by his classmates at any time, you have become such a mature, cunning, and dangerous character. You are really not simple, not simple. You flatter me. Some things are forced. I have to thank you, my opponents, for my growth. Yang Ming said modestly, you have already said before. If you didn't give me so much pressure, I wouldn't be able to grow so quickly. Continue. I am very interested in what you said. Elder Yu nodded and motioned for Yang Ming to continue. Well, since this is the case, then I will continue to talk about it. Yang Ming nodded and continued, if I didn't appear, he might inherit Fang Tian's legacy and become the new generation of King of Assassins. But unfortunately, I appeared, and his hope was completely shattered. I'm afraid this is the beginning of his resentment against me in his heart. Otherwise, why would he want to deal with me when I have no enmity with him? It is because I snatched his position. Although my master, Fang Tian, once said that his body was defective and not suitable for practicing martial arts, I think these are just excuses because my master had already seen through Dong Jun's character, so he didn't pass on his skills to Dong Jun. It turns out to be like this. If you didn't say it, I wouldn't have known why he only learned light kung fu and became a godly thief, but he didn't know any assassination skills. Now that you said it, I understand a little. Elder Yu nodded. No wonder, but his body is defective. It's impossible for him to learn lightness skills and not learn other skills. Since he has learned lightness skills, his assassination skills are not much worse. I'm afraid that what you said is true. He was suspected by your master. Yes, and I also suspect that the reason why my master stayed in prison for so long was also Dong Jun's masterpiece. Yang Ming said, with my master's skill, it is easy to get out. With his connections, it is also easy to prove his innocence, but why didn't he do that? As for Dong Jun also said that he has many acquaintances in Songjiang City. I, a student, can find someone to prove my master's innocence. Can Dong Jun not do it? Obviously, it is impossible. So, the only explanation is that he didn't do it. The reason why he locked my master, Fong Tian, was to prevent my master from contacting too many outstanding talents. In the end, he could only pass on his legacy to Dong Jun. Dong Jun's with me. Elder Yu nodded. All of this makes sense. I became Fong Tian's disciple. In this way, I became Fong Tian's disciple. In our assassin world, the senior apprentice brothers of the same generation are not ranked according to seniority, but according to strength. If I am not as good as him, he can still inherit the legacy of the king of assassins in the future as the senior apprentice brother. But I am stronger than him. I surpassed him. Not only can he not be my senior apprentice brother, but he also has to call me senior apprentice brother. Although I didn't care about this and have always called him senior apprentice brother, one day, when I become the real king of assassins, he can only be my junior apprentice brother. I think these are the reasons why he is not convinced. Yang Ming continued, of course, there are some small things that let me confirm that the person who wants to deal with me is him. Once, I took Chen Mengyan to buy cigarettes and alcohol, and a thief came to steal. Later, I found out that the thief's boss was my senior apprentice brother. There was also that jewelry exhibition. I think it should be my senior apprentice brother who embezzled. Only he has that kind of ability. There are a lot of these things. They seem to be coincidental, but in fact, there are some subtle connections. Sure enough, I admire you. No wonder the people I sent lost in your hands. Yun Guangdo, those wastes, are not your opponents. Elder Yu nodded and said, you are really good at scheming. Is there anything else you want to say to me? Anything else? Yang Ming couldn't help but frown after listening to Elder Yu's words. Is there anything else to say? Yang Ming had been delaying time, so he said some of his own thoughts in detail, but after listening to Elder Yu's words, Yang Ming was suddenly shocked. It seems that Elder Yu is also delaying time. Why is this? It was reasonable to say that after Elder Yu activated the sinister voodoo, there was a time limit. The longer the time was delayed, the more disadvantageous it was for him. Once the sinister voodoo lost its effect, then Yang Ming and others could join forces to kill Elder Yu completely. However, Elder Yu didn't seem to have this concern. Instead, he had been listening to Yang Ming's analysis with interest. It was fine if he was interested, but now that Yang Ming had finished talking, he still asked Yang Ming if he had anything else to say. This made Yang Ming have some doubts. Yeah, you can continue to tell me about the grievances between you and Dong Jun. Maybe you won't have a chance to talk about it in the future. Elder Yu nodded and said. Are you delaying time? Yang Ming suddenly asked tentatively. Aren't you delaying time as well? Elder Yu smiled. I can see that you are delaying time. Am I not trying my best to cooperate with you delaying time? You are delaying time. What do you want to do? Yang Ming felt a chill in his heart. He suddenly realized that he seemed to have been fooled in a shocking way. What do you want to do by delaying time? Naturally, I want to do the same thing by delaying time. Elder Yu smiled and said, our thoughts are actually the same. You want to kill me, and I want to catch you. Do you still need to ask this? But, isn't there a time limit for your sinister voodoo? I am delaying time because I am waiting for the moment when the sinister voodoo loses its effect. Yang Ming did not avoid it at this time. Since Elder Yu was so frank, then Yang Ming also directly said his purpose. Yeah, there is indeed a time limit, but that is only after the sinister voodoo is fully activated, then there is a time limit. Elder Yu suddenly laughed after listening. Chapter 2079. What do you mean? Yang Ming's face suddenly changed. He looked at Elder Yu, who was laughing, and thought that it was not good. Since Elder Yu could say it at this moment, it also showed that Elder Yu didn't need to hide anymore. In other words, there was no need to delay anymore. It takes a long time to activate the sinister voodoo. Previously, I only activated a part of it to make my back and upper body invulnerable. However, I haven't activated it on my chest and legs. Now, do you know why I want to delay the time? Ha 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 ha. Elder Yu looked at Yang Ming and laughed wildly. Yang Ming, Yang Ming, you are still too inexperienced. No wonder your senior brother always wanted to scheme against you. If you showed that you were smart and strong enough, then obviously, even if he had that intention, he wouldn't dare to put it into action. However, now it seems that you are still lacking. I have to say that it is normal for you to lose to me. Ha! Yang Ming smiled self-deprecatingly. It turned out that he had been trying to delay the time, but Elder Yu just happened to grasp this mentality. He made Yang Ming delay the time like a fool, but it happened to help Elder Yu. Alright, Lan Ling, why don't you come out too? You have been waiting at the side for so long. You should be anxious, right? If you have any skills, just use them. Of course, it's fine if you don't come out. I will capture your sweetheart. Ha 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 ha. Elder Yu suddenly said loudly. Yang Ming suddenly frowned. He didn't expect Elder Yu to be able to discover Lan Ling's existence. This made Yang Ming frown. If Lan Ling came out at this time, she would definitely lose. So, he quickly said, what are you talking about? What Lan Ling is here? Why is Lan Ling here? If I guessed correctly, she should be in Lanmiao village now to figure out how to deal with you, right? Who are you talking to? Yang Ming's hint was actually for Lan Ling to hear. He meant that since Elder Yu had activated the sinister voodoo, then there was no need for him to come out and take risks because he would not be Elder Yu's opponent even if he came out again. Yang Ming, oh Yang Ming, what do you want me to say to you? TSK. Elder Yu's mouth made two mocking sounds. You want to hint to her not to come out, right? Don't think that I don't know what you're thinking. You think that since I've activated the wicked voodoo, Lan Ling is no match for me. You don't want her to make unnecessary sacrifices, right? What are you talking about? I don't understand. Yang Ming frowned and defended himself, but he was getting more and more confused in his heart. Could it be that Elder Yu is not guessing, but there is really any definite evidence to prove that Lan Ling is nearby? Otherwise, why would he speak so confidently, as if he had seen Lan Ling with his own eyes? Ha 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 ha, Lan Ling, are you still not coming out? It's fine if you don't come out. I'll take Yang Ming away as a test subject. I'm afraid you won't be able to see Yang Ming in your life. Wahahaha. Elder Yu laughed. Lan Ling isn't here at all. Yang Ming still insisted, what are you talking about? You can't stop laughing. Are you crazy? Are you retarded? Yang Ming, you really didn't watch Saint Seiya when you were young, right? There is a good saying that the same trick is useless against Saint Seiya, but you made the same mistake twice. Elder Yu looked at Yang Ming in disdain and said, I have told you before that I'm proficient in voodoo, which is voodoo. Moreover, as the Elder Yu of Lanmiao village, I'm very familiar with the aura of Lanmiao village. Every member of Lanmiao village has a unique aura that can't be hidden from me. There is an aura that I'm familiar with nearby. And this aura, I can conclude that it is your little girlfriend, my former Miss, Lan Ling. So that's the case. Yang Ming listened to Elder Yu's explanation and smiled bitterly. Well, since you know, why are you still lying to me? Why don't you just say it directly? If I say it directly, how can I let you talk nonsense with me? Elder Yu blinked and smiled at Yang Ming. What do you mean? Yang Ming was shocked. He seemed to have made another low-level mistake. Nothing. What I mean is that my sinister voodoo hasn't been fully activated just now. I just said it in haste, so I lied to you and said that it has been fully activated. Elder, you said, that's why I'm anxious. In fact, I haven't completed the activation yet, so I talked a little more nonsense with you and aroused your curiosity. Then, we talked about Lonling. After a while, it's now. My sinister voodoo is truly activated. Elder you, I'm here. Aren't you looking for me? Yang Ming wanted to say something, but Lonling's clear voice came from outside the cell. Yang Ming sighed in his heart. I missed the best opportunity. I'm really a big idiot. I'm simply a fool who was led by the nose by Elder Yu. In the past, the person who did this was Yang Ming. It had always been Yang Ming who led others by the nose and deceived others, but this time, Lonling couldn't help it. Whether Elder Yu really activated the sinister voodoo this time or not, she couldn't wait anymore. What if Elder Yu was still stalling for time? So Lonling resolutely chose to stand up. No matter what, she had to try. If she won, it would naturally be good. If she lost, it would be wonderful to be with Yang Ming. Since Lonling chose to come out, she didn't think of going back. Going through life and death with Yang Ming was the ultimate meaning of the voodoo. Ah, little Lonling, how have you been? Elder Yu turned to look at Lonling and nodded with a smile. If Yang Ming didn't know that Elder Yu and Lonmiao village were life and death enemies, he would even think that he was a kind elder to Lonling. At this moment, he spoke to Lonling in the tone of an elder. There was no trace of hostility. Yeah, Elder Yu, how have you been? Lonling still remembers the scene when Elder Yu took Lonling to the mountain to pick herbs when I was young. It can be said that Lonling's first teachers were Yu and Grandpa Zhua. So, in Lonling's heart, I still respect Elder Yu very much. As Lonling said this, a trace of sadness flashed in her eyes. It is said that desire is endless. I didn't expect that Elder Yu would violate the ancestral teachings and steal the secret book of Jin Gang Voodoo to prepare for the trial. So, Lonling has to be your enemy, hehe, Lonmiao village. If I cultivate the Jin Gang Voodoo, I will be the most powerful person in Miaojiang. Why should I be under others? Elder Yu shook his head. I also want to be the village leader. Chapter 2080. After listening to Elder Yu's words, Lonling suddenly became silent. Elder Yu was a person with a desire for power and ambition. He was unwilling to submit to others. This was different from Elder Zhua and the deputy chief. Elder Zhua was a sentimental person. He stood aloof from worldly affairs and had no children. He treated Lonling like his own granddaughter. The deputy chief was devoted to the public. He had no feelings whether it was public or private. As long as it was good for Lonmiao village, even if he had to sacrifice himself, he was willing to do it. Elder Yu was the opposite of these two people. He was ambitious and selfish. As long as he could dominate Miaojiang, he would not hesitate to sacrifice himself to refine sinister voodoo. This was the biggest difference between these people. Lonling also knew that she could not persuade Elder Yu to change anything. Elder Yu, Lonling has offended you. Let me try your sinister voodoo. Lonling took a deep breath and looked at Elder Yu seriously. Hehe, just in time. I also want to see if you have improved in these few years. Elder Yu nodded and said. As Lonling said, she waved her hands. Apparently, she used some kind of powerful voodoo. Although Yang Ming did not understand, he knew that she had begun to compete with Elder Yu by looking at her dignified expression. Yang Ming could not help in this kind of thing. He could only stand aside and watch silently. He hoped to give Elder Yu a fatal blow when he was careless. Although Yang Ming also knew that the effect would be small, because Elder Yu had completely activated sinister voodoo and became invulnerable. Yang Ming's attack might not cause any trouble to him, but it would be enough to distract him. Lan Ling moved, and so did Elder Yu. Both of them waved their hands and made strange gestures. Although the two of them could not see the actual confrontation, seeing the two of them constantly changing gestures, they must have fought a few rounds. Among all the people present, only Fort Master Ku and Brother Wan showed a shocked expression. They could understand what was going on. Perhaps they were shocked by the high-level Gu techniques used by Elder Yu and Lan Ling. They never thought that these two people would know so many high-level Gu techniques. Now, it seemed like the mutated Miao village's foundation was too weak. The two people in front of him were indeed powerful. It was no wonder that the Blue Miao village lived up to its name. While Elder Yu was waving his hand, Yang Ming gave Xia Shui, Lu Yezi, Feng Tianlong, and Xiao Susu a wink. Several people suddenly jumped up and ran towards Elder Yu. They used their best skills and attacked Elder Yu. Boom, 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 boom. 5 loud sounds represented that everyone had hit the right-hand elder. After the hit, several people quickly pushed aside, but they heard Elder Yu's sarcastic voice, ha 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 ha. Yang Ming, I have already said that I have completely activated Sinister Gu. Do you think you can still do anything to me? After Yang Ming heard Elder Yu's words, he suddenly sighed. It seemed that the previous attack had no effect on Elder Yu. On Lan Ling's side, she also showed a slightly disappointed expression. At present, it seemed that she and Elder Yu were on par with each other. No one was better than the other. Elder Yu's voodoo technique came from Lan Miao village's core scripture pavilion, and so did Lan Ling. Although Lan Ling was not as good as Elder Yu previously, Elder Yu had spent all his time on researching sinister voodoo and Vajra voodoo. Hence, other voodoo techniques were basically stagnant. However, Elder Yu's voodoo skills were considered top-notch in Blue Miao village. There was no need or even no possibility for him to improve further. As for Lan Ling, she had been learning voodoo skills from her grandmother for the past year. She had also cultivated to the peak, so she was on par with Elder Yu at most. If Yang Ming could cause serious damage to Elder Yu, then Lan Ling still had some confidence. But now, she had no confidence at all. Elder Yu is indeed worthy of being an elder of Blue Miao village. You are really powerful. You live up to your reputation. Lan Ling said sincerely. Little Lan Ling, you've made me see you in a new light. That little girl of the past has become so powerful now. Even I can't do anything to you. Luckily, I've cultivated the sinister voodoo. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a match for your Blue Miao village. Elder Yu laughed and said. Although he said so, his tone was obviously very conceited. However, it was no wonder. He had sinister voodoo, and his other voodoo techniques were on par with others. Others naturally couldn't do anything to him. But it won't be easy for you to defeat me, said Lan Ling. Yes, but it's impossible for you to defeat me, said Elder Yu. The right-hand elder said, my Vajra Gu has yet to be refined, and my body's speed is still lacking. Once I succeed in refining the Vajra Gu, my body's speed will greatly increase. When the time comes, it won't be difficult for me to insta-kill you in close combat. But now, if you run, I won't be able to catch up with you. Elder Yu was speaking from the bottom of his heart. Both of them knew Gu techniques. Under the situation where their Gu techniques were on par, they had to rely on other methods to win. Once Elder Yu cultivated Jin Gang's unbreakable body, he could do whatever he wanted in Blue Miao village just by relying on his tyrannical physical strength. By then, no one would be his opponent. Lan Ling sighed. She also knew that other than the Herculean Gu, there was nothing else that could deal with the Jin Gang Gu. Fortunately, Elder Yu did not know that the Herculean goo was the nemesis of the Jin Gang goo. He also did not know about the existence of the Herculean goo. This was Blue Meow Village's ultimate trump card. When Elder Yu thought that the Jin Gang goo was invincible, he would never have thought that all things had their counter. The Jin Gang goo also had its drawbacks and nemesis, and this nemesis was the Herculean goo. This was like the story of the spear and the shield, but it was more appropriate. The Jin Gang goo was a goo technique worshipped by Blue Meow Village. This goo technique was strictly refined because of its overbearing nature. However, once the Jin Gang goo appeared, the village master of Blue Meow Village still had an existence that could suppress the Jin Gang goo. It was the Herculean goo. This was also the ultimate method that was reserved to protect the dignity and status of the village master of Blue Meow Village. For thousands of years, no one had gone against the teachings of the ancestors to refine the Jin Gang goo. Who would have thought that an anomaly like Elder Yu would suddenly appear? Therefore, after the people of Blue Meow Village received Lon Hai's news, they finally obtained the formula of the Herculean goo. However, the Herculean goo was the same as the Jin Gang goo because no one had successfully refined it for thousands of years. Although the formula existed, there was no refining method and process. This was also an important reason for the repeated failures in refining. Fortunately, Lon Ling and Elder Yu were only in the experimental stage. Chapter 2081. It's true that I can't do anything to you for the time being. Lon Ling readily admitted her shortcomings. Then, are you leaving or staying here? Elder Yu asked. Leaving, but I'm going to take him with me. Lon Ling pointed at Yang Ming and said. I'm afraid that's impossible. Elder Yu laughed and said, however, Yang Ming and the rest can't leave. It's impossible for you to save them. What do you mean? Lon Ling was slightly stunned. Previously, when they attacked me, I had already used voodoo on them. All of them are voodoo. Ha 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 ha, without my antidote, they will become useless people. Of course, if you are obedient and help me experiment with my Jin Gang voodoo and find the correct refining method of the Jin Gang voodoo, I might give you the antidote. Elder Yu didn't hide anything. Of course, you can try to remove the voodoo for them, but I don't know if it will be effective. This voodoo is not from Lon Meow Village, but from another Meow Village. I got a voodoo by chance. This voodoo is very magical. It won't cause too much harm to the human body for the time being. However, after a long time, it will cause stupidity and amnesia. It's like suffering from Alzheimer's disease. They will gradually lose themselves and become a fool. Lon Ling frowned. There's such a voodoo. With her current understanding of voodoo, she had never heard of such a thing. The voodoo mentioned by Elder Yu didn't seem like a voodoo, but more like a slow-acting poison. Of course there is. This voodoo is basically incurable. Of course, if you have the super antidote pill, you can try it. Elder Yu said, but as an elder of Lon Meow Village, I know the preciousness of this thing very well. Lon Meow Village may only have 2 or 3 pills left. I'm afraid you only have 1 pill in your hands. With so many people, unless you give up on most of them, they will all die. If you don't have the antidote, it's quite scary. However, the level of this voodoo shouldn't be too high, right? Although it looks a little strange, a high-level voodoo is different from your voodoo. Lon Ling thought for a while and said. That's right. As expected of the future successor of Blue Meow Village. I wonder if you can inherit Blue Meow Village. Would Lon Meow Village still bear the surname Lon in the future? Or is your surname Yu? This kind of voodoo is indeed not a high-level voodoo, but you don't know the principle, so you can't cure it. I believe that even if you know the principle, you can't cure it. This is because the configuration of the antidote is also very complicated. Although I know the formula, I can only configure the antidote. It can alleviate the negative effects of this voodoo, but it can't completely cure it. Lan Ling's expression was a bit strange. She didn't expect that Elder Yu wouldn't be able to cure it because the antidote's configuration is also very complicated. Although I know the formula, I can only configure the antidote that can alleviate the negative effects of this voodoo. In other words, you don't have a solution either. Lan Ling asked lightly. Yes, the ultimate antidote is the super antidote pill, but you can't refine it. I can refine it, but I don't have enough materials. Maybe you don't know. The road to the Medicine Valley has been destroyed. I'm afraid that your Blue Meow village won't be able to refine the super antidote pill this year. Speaking of this, Elder Yu couldn't help but laugh. Not only that, all the voodoo refinements in Blue Meow village have to stop. What? You destroyed the Medicine Valley? Lan Ling was shocked. She stared at Elder Yu and asked. So what if I did? Elder Yu said indifferently. The Medicine Valley is the place where several Miao villages in this Miaojiang relied on to survive and gather herbs for thousands of years. You actually destroyed it. Do you know how hateful your actions are? You will be struck by lightning. Lan Ling didn't expect Elder Yu to be so deranged that he actually destroyed the Medicine Valley. The Medicine Valley was the common precious property of several Miao villages in this Miaojiang. Although there were some conflicts between the few Miao villages, they all tacitly guarded the Medicine Valley in this Miaojiang. This was because everyone needed the Medicine Valley. Everyone would gather herbs. Hence, in the Medicine Valley, everyone was peaceful. There wouldn't be any disputes that would accidentally destroy the Medicine Valley. However, they didn't expect Elder Yu to break this rule. Don't scare me with lightning. If I could be struck by lightning, I would have been struck by lightning when I first refined the Jin Gang voodoo. Didn't the ancestors of Blue Meow village say that? Refining the Jin Gang voodoo would be struck by lightning. But now... Am I not living well? Elder Yu said disdainfully. Besides, if you want to pick herbs, you can move away and go to other Miaojiang. This Miaojiang will be my territory in the future. You don't have to come here. You. Lan Ling didn't expect Elder Yu to be so unreasonable. However, she also knew that there was no need to be angry with Elder Yu. He was an unreasonable person. However, it would be difficult for Blue Meow village to gather herbs in the future. They would need to go to other medicine valleys further away in Miaojiang to gather herbs. When they arrived there, they might be resisted by the Miao villages there. It would take some time to build a relationship. This was equivalent to weakening Blue Meow village's strength imperceptibly. It would make Blue Meow village less and less capable of competing with Elder Yu. That was fine. What made Lan Ling most anxious was that the vigor worm was at the critical stage of the experiment. Without the Medicine Valley, how could they develop it? If they couldn't develop it, how could they deal with Elder Yu? Moreover, Blue Meow village gave her the Super Goo Cure pill. Without the Medicine Valley, how could they refine a new batch of Super Goo Cure pills? What did I do? I only moved all the medicinal herbs in the Medicine Valley and replanted them in my territory. In order to complete this task, I planned for 3 whole years. It was only after 3 years that I slowly finished cultivating my own Medicine Valley. Then, I destroyed the current Medicine Valley in one fell swoop. Elder Yu said, since you came to my Medicine Valley, you can also see the raw materials for refining the Super Goo Cure pill. However, although your voodoo skills are very good, the refining of the Super Goo Cure pill requires a beginner alchemist. Although you know voodoo skills, you don't know how to refine pills. You can't control the alchemy fire. It's useless even if you see it. Lan Ling looked at Elder Yu ridiculing her arrogantly, and she felt a little uncomfortable. However, what Elder Yu said was also the truth. She really didn't know how to refine pills. She must practice another kind of mantra to control the fire, similar to the cultivation of qi. Lan Ling's mind was on refining the voodoo poison. How could she have time to study alchemy? Chapter 2082. So you've been planning this for a long time. Lan Ling said helplessly, the Medicine Valley is the wealth of all of us, but you destroyed it. It seems that our hatred is irreconcilable. Irreconcilable. Hee, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's not wrong. Since Blue Meow Village can't tolerate me and think that I'm a traitor, how can I tolerate you? Elder Yu sneered and said, if Blue Meow Village let me be the village leader, everyone would still be at peace. Then, there wouldn't be so many troubles, right? I admit, little Lan Ling, in this year, you've really made me look at you differently. From a little girl with mediocre voodoo skills, you've suddenly become a voodoo master who is on par with me. But so what? No matter how good your other voodoo skills are, they can't do anything to my Jin Gang voodoo. When my Jin Gang voodoo is completed, you'll have no chance at all. You can only surrender. Lan Ling sneered and didn't say anything else. Lan Ling placed all her hopes on the Herculean voodoo. However, Elder Yu actually moved and destroyed the entire Medicine Valley, causing Blue Meow Village to face many difficulties in refining the Herculean voodoo. Many of the herbs needed to cultivate the voodoo were all gone. They had to search for them further away. As a result, the efficiency would be much slower. Lan Ling didn't know if she could make it before Elder Yu's Jin Gang voodoo was completed. Oh right, didn't Elder Yu say that he wanted to capture her? And from what he said, it seemed that she could also come into contact with his Medicine Valley. In that case, wouldn't she be able to study the Herculean voodoo here? Moreover, from Elder Yu's words, he seemed to want her to help him test the Jin Gang voodoo. If she could come into contact with the core secret of the Jin Gang voodoo, it would be greatly beneficial for refining the Herculean voodoo. Thinking of this, Lan Ling couldn't help but feel excited. This was a heaven-sent opportunity to infiltrate the enemy's base and make corresponding countermeasures according to the enemy's weakness. You mean, you want me to go back with you? Lan Ling frowned and asked calmly. She seemed to be unhappy with Elder Yu's proposal. Yang Ming and the others have been poisoned by the goo. They must return with me or else they will die miserably. As for you, you don't have to go back. If you run now, I definitely won't be able to catch up with you. It doesn't matter. You are forcing me, aren't you? Yang Ming went back with you, so I have no choice but to go back with you. Lan Ling asked. I am forcing you. With you, the inheritor of Blue Meow Village, around, I think you can help me refine Jin Gang goo. Why wouldn't I do it? Elder Yu smiled. Of course, it's fine if you don't go, but it's not like we can't do it without you. With all due respect, the voodoo in their bodies, although you said it was so magical, why can't I see it? Lan Ling did not answer Elder Yu's question, but turned to look at Yang Ming and others and asked. This voodoo will only show signs when it is activated. You can't see it by looking at it like this. Elder Yu said proudly, not to mention you, even I can't see it. The voodoo has entered their bodies, but when it is not activated, nothing special can be seen. So that's the case. Lan Ling's expression did not change, but there was a smile in her heart. If the super antidote goo pill could solve the voodoo, the heart goo pill could definitely detoxify it. In other words, she did not have to worry about Yang Ming's problem at all. As for the voodoo of the other 3 people, she just happened to have 3 super antidote goo pills left. In this way, she could just give them to them. She did not have to worry about being threatened by Elder Yu. What's more, it did not matter even if they were threatened. Since Elder Yu wanted these people to help him test the voodoo, he would definitely give some relief medicine. As long as it was temporarily relieved, she could slowly think of a way. Thinking of this, Lan Ling's heart was settled. She nodded and said, "Okay, I will go back with you." As for Yang Ming, he also had the idea that nothing ventured, nothing gained. At present, it seemed that the gap between him and Elder Yu was not small, and so was Lan Ling. Even if he was lucky enough to escape this time, it would be difficult to find Elder Yu's whereabouts again to deal with him. The chance was very slim. It was better to go back with Elder Yu and wait for a suitable opportunity to challenge Elder Yu again. "What about you?" Elder Yu looked at Yang Ming, who had an ugly expression, and asked, "Don't be naive to think that ordinary antidote goo pills can solve the voodoo in your body. If you want to leave now, I won't stop you. I know that I can't stop you for the time being, but once you leave, then you can only wait for death. I will go back with you. Lan Ling's idea is my idea." Yang Ming nodded and said, "Ha ha ha ha." Elder Yu listened to Yang Ming's answer and suddenly laughed wildly. "I didn't expect that Yang Ming, who I have always regarded as a big problem, would be so easy to deal with. The heir of Lan Ling of Lan Miao village is also the same. It is really disappointing. You people made me waste so much effort for nothing." Yang Ming looked at Elder Yu blowing his own trumpet and suddenly shook his head. Elder Yu did have the right to be arrogant, but he was too arrogant. With this kind of character, he would definitely suffer losses. This was also a place that Yang Ming could take advantage of. Yang Ming's words naturally represented the words of the other members. They also stood up and followed behind Yang Ming without saying anything. After Elder Yu laughed, he asked his subordinates to tie the hands of Lan Ling, Yang Ming, Xia Shui, and the others one by one with ropes. They were dragged together with a rope and set off towards Elder Yu's base. After bidding farewell to stockade leader Ku, Elder Yu and his men left the mutated Miao stockade with satisfaction. Looking at Elder Yu's departing figure, stockade leader Ku heaved a sigh of relief. This Yang Ming and this Lan Ling were not simple characters. If they had intended to kill him from the very beginning, he would have died long ago. Fortunately, their target was Elder Yu, so they didn't do anything to Leader Ku. Maybe they just treated Leader Ku as a clown that could be used. "Elder Yu, I hope you have a safe journey. You underestimated Yang Ming. He is not as simple as you think." Leader Ku muttered to himself and shook his head. He always felt that Yang Ming's surrender had some other meaning, just like how Yang Ming lied to him in the beginning. However, he also knew that he couldn't say these words to Elder Yu. If he said these words, Elder Yu would think that he was looking down on Yang Ming, which would bring disaster to mutated Miao village. Chapter 2083. Stronghold Master Ku, what do you mean by those words? Brother Wan looked at Camp Leader Ku in confusion. He didn't know why Camp Leader Ku would say that. Wasn't Yang Ming captured by Elder Yu? It's not wrong to capture him, but Yang Ming isn't a simple person. I always have a hunch that Elder Yu will fail miserably. Fort Leader Ku didn't hide anything from his trusted subordinate, Brother Wan. He could tell these things to him, but he wouldn't tell anyone else. How is that possible? Didn't Elder Yu put a special venomous insect in their bodies? Even Lan Ling can't do anything about it. Brother Wan was confused. Besides, didn't they surrender in the end? Yes. Even Lan Ling can't do anything about it. But, is there really no other way? Chief Ku shook his head. Little Wan, go and inform everyone in the village. During this period of time, no one should go against Blue Miao village. They should be polite and even take the initiative to help. Oh. Brother Wan was stunned. Chief Ku, aren't we on Elder Yu's side? Are we going to join Blue Miao village? Who said we're on Elder Yu's side? Who said we're going to join Blue Miao village? Chief Ku waved his hand. Then. Chief Ku, you mean? Brother Juan did not quite understand what Chief Ku meant. Looking at this trusted subordinate of his, Fort Leader Ku couldn't help but sigh. This guy was absolutely loyal, but he was a little stupid. His brain didn't react quickly enough. His hint was so obvious, how could he not understand it? Left with no choice, Stockade Chief Ku could only explain, "We're only expressing our goodwill to Elder Yu. However, it's impossible for us, the mutated Miao Stockade, to be his subordinate now. As for Blue Miao Village, I suddenly feel that they might not lose this time. The winner might not be Elder Yu. So, we can't offend him. This way, no matter who wins in the end, we won't be at a disadvantage. We can continue to live in Miaojiang. Do you understand?" "I understand, Chief Ku. You're so wise." Brother Juan nodded in agreement. Although the reasoning was simple, Brother Juan had just understood it. He admired Stockade Leader Ku very much. Fort Leader Ku looked at Brother Juan, speechless. Why were all his subordinates acting like idiots? Not to mention that his subordinates and Yang Ming were so smart, even Elder Yu's subordinates were like that. He was now soaring in the sky. "Alright, go now. But remember, don't tell anyone what I told you before. Do you understand?" Camp Leader Ku said to Brother Juan. "Don't worry, Stockade Master Ku. I know what I'm doing. I won't speak carelessly." Brother Juan nodded and left to carry out his task. On the other side, Yang Ming and the others were led by Elder Yu's men with ropes and walked to Elder Yu's base. Elder Yu walked in front, and Yang Ming walked behind. Yang Ming was thinking in his heart, has the sinister voodoo on Elder Yu lost its effect? If I choose to attack Elder Yu at this time, will it succeed? Lan Ling, who was standing at the side, seemed to have telepathy with Yang Ming. When she saw Yang Ming staring at Elder Yu's back, she whispered, "Let's wait and see." "N." Yang Ming responded and continued to walk forward. Elder Yu didn't notice the small movements between Yang Ming and Lan Ling. At this moment, he was very conceited. If it weren't for the fact that he didn't bring his phone, he would have immediately called Dong Jun to show off and let him see how powerful he was. He had caught Yang Ming, who gave him a headache. Yang Ming and the others' physical strength was good, so they didn't feel tired after walking for such a long distance. The few of them walked quickly for about 20 kilometers and finally came to the edge of a valley. Elder Yu also stopped. "I didn't expect your physical strength to be good." Elder Yu looked at Yang Ming and the others and said, "After walking such a long distance, you are still full of energy. So what if it is? So what if it isn't?" Yang Ming said faintly, "Why did you bring us to this place? We are in the middle of nowhere. Is there a secret base here?" "You guessed right. My secret base is under this valley. However, after you go down, you can't come up again. This place is 1,000 meters high. The valley surroundings are as smooth as a mirror. There is no flying equipment. It is wishful thinking to climb up." Elder Yu pointed to the valley below and said. It turned out to be like this. Yang Ming was calm on the surface, but he was very shocked in his heart. He didn't expect Elder Yu to find such a place as a secret base. In this way, the people here couldn't escape by themselves. Even a powerful person like Yang Ming couldn't do anything, let alone others. Yang Ming didn't have wings, so it was impossible for him to fly up. After you go down, study the Jin Gang voodoo with the people here. If you have some achievements, maybe I will refine the antidote for you. If you slack off or try to escape, then don't blame me for being impolite. Elder Yu said with a sneer. Really? As soon as Yang Ming finished speaking, he broke free from the rope in his hand and punched Elder Yu. This level of hemp rope was nothing for Yang Ming. He could break free with a little effort. He didn't break free all the way because he wanted to confuse Elder Yu. At this point, regardless of whether the sinister voodoo activated by Elder Yu had lost its effect, Yang Ming had to try because they had already reached the destination. If he didn't try it now, it would be too late to test it when Elder Yu threw them to the bottom of the valley. Therefore, no matter what, Yang Ming had to test it before he could feel at ease. Whether it worked or not, Yang Ming didn't care too much. It would be great if it worked. If it didn't, he had no loss. At this time, Elder Yu didn't expect Yang Ming to suddenly attack. After all, Yang Ming and the others were very well behaved along the way, especially Yang Ming and the others who were also poisoned by Elder Yu's voodoo. Since they chose to come back with him, they didn't want to die and wanted to get the antidote from him. After all, if they wanted to escape, they could have done so before. Although Elder Yu's voodoo was powerful, if Lan Ling was here to stop him, Elder Yu couldn't outrun Yang Ming and the other professionally trained people. Judging from how they walked for so long without blushing, their physical fitness was quite good. Therefore, Elder Yu wasn't on guard at all. Yang Ming's punch came over. Before Elder Yu could recover, the fist hit his chest, making a loud, banged sound. Chapter 2084. Yang Ming's punch used all his skills. He put all his strength into his fist because Yang Ming also knew that the success or failure depended on this punch. However, the next thing made Yang Ming very disappointed. Elder Yu, who was hit, didn't seem to have any abnormality at all. He didn't even groan, but his expression was a little stunned. Since the blow didn't work, Yang Ming didn't do anything else. Instead, he quickly retreated and returned to Lan Ling's side. Are you using a sneak attack again? Elder Yu waited for Yang Ming to return to Lan Ling's side before he recovered. He couldn't help but mock, can you use some advanced moves next time? Don't always use kindergarten-level brute force. It seems that your voodoo is still there. It hasn't expired. Yang Ming looked at Elder Yu's unscathed appearance and couldn't help but sigh. Of course, it's still there. Elder Yu snorted disdainfully. Although this sinister voodoo is an incomplete version of the Jin Gang voodoo, it won't be so easily deactivated after using it once. Once activated, it can last for at least 24 hours. Otherwise, do you think that I wouldn't be prepared after such a long journey? It turned out to be like this. I didn't think of it. Yang Ming was convinced of his loss. Now that his skills were inferior, it was impossible to defeat Elder Yu anyway. Therefore, Yang Ming simply didn't waste his energy and simply admitted defeat. I lost. Now, you can do whatever you want. Ha 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 ha, Yang Ming, you also have a time when you admit defeat. Not simple. Elder Yu laughed. My request is very simple. You go into the valley and help me test the Jin Gang voodoo with the people in the valley. I will give you the medicine to suppress the voodoo regularly. When the Jin Gang voodoo is successfully refined, I will refine an advanced voodoo antidote pill for you. Okay. Yang Ming nodded and said straightforwardly, Lan Ling and I will do our best. I hope you can keep your promise. No problem. After the Jin Gang voodoo is successfully refined, I am not afraid of you. What's the harm in curing the voodoo for you? Elder Yu said indifferently. After listening to Elder Yu's words, Yang Ming no longer said anything and quietly waited for Elder Yu's arrangement. At this time, Elder Yu's subordinates were using the wireless walkie-talkie to contact the helicopter. After a while, a helicopter flew over and stopped steadily in the open space not far away. Previously, Yang Ming was still puzzled. How could there be an open space in this dense forest? It turned out to be used to park helicopters. Well, the helicopter is here. Follow me up. I will send you down. Elder Yu said after seeing the helicopter. After speaking, Elder Yu stepped in the direction of the helicopter. The people on the helicopter respectfully opened the hatch for Elder Yu and waited for him to board the helicopter. Yang Ming didn't say much. He just said to Xia Shui and the others, "Let's go. Get on the helicopter." As a result, Yang Ming and the others all followed Elder Yu onto the helicopter. Elder Yu was very happy with the obedience of Yang Ming and the others. It could be seen that he was very proud. After the helicopter took off, it flew in the direction of the valley. In the middle of the valley, the helicopter began to slowly descend. It didn't take long for it to land on the ground. This distance shouldn't be far by plane, but it wasn't very close either. If there was no plane, it would be impossible to return to the valley. "Okay, everyone get off," Elder Yu said to Yang Ming and the others after getting off the helicopter first. Yang Ming nodded and got off the helicopter. Elder Yu's subordinates came over and untied all the ropes on Xia Shui, Lu Yezi, Feng Tianlong, and Xiao Susu. Yang Ming looked at the surrounding environment. Below this valley, it was really quiet and beautiful. It was like a paradise on earth. Not far away, there were rows of houses. They were neat and generous. On the other side, there was a medicinal garden full of various herbs. It was probably the medicinal valley that Elder Yu mentioned that was transplanted here. The environment here was really good. If they weren't caught, it would be a good choice to travel here. The environment here is really good. Living here is quite leisurely. Yang Ming shrugged and smiled. "I asked you to help me develop Jin Ganggu. Naturally, I need to provide a good working environment. This is natural. You will like this place," said Elder Yu. "I hope so." Yang Ming nodded. "Okay, you go and call the people here and introduce them to the new people." Elder Yu instructed one of his subordinates. "Yes, Elder Yu." The subordinate responded, got up, got on a battery car, and drove to the rows of houses. There was a battery car here, which made Yang Ming a little surprised. He didn't expect there to be a lot of modern equipment here. It seemed that it should rely on solar power to charge. However, with Elder Yu's financial resources, it was not difficult to build these facilities. Soon after the subordinate got off the car and entered a house, he came out. There were 4 people behind him. From a distance, it should be 2 men and 2 women. Yang Ming didn't deliberately use his special ability to observe because there was no need. He could see them immediately. Moreover, Yang Ming didn't know the people here. There was not much difference between seeing them early and late. The subordinate and the 4 people got on the battery car together, and then quickly drove over here. It didn't take long for them to stop not far from Yang Ming. Elder Yu's subordinates and the 5 people, 2 men and 1 woman, got off the car and walked toward Yang Ming and Elder Yu. "Elder Yu, the people have been brought over," said the subordinate. Elder Yu nodded, then turned to look at Yang Ming. "Let me introduce them to you. These 4 people are the researchers I caught to study the Vajra voodoo. You will help me study the Vajra voodoo with them in the future. Your bodies are very good, just suitable for testing voodoo." Yang Ming frowned. This Elder Yu really didn't have good intentions. Then, they will be used as test subjects. However, Yang Ming didn't have the mood to curse Elder Yu at the moment. His gaze stopped on the 4 researchers. Among them, there was a man and a woman who were about 20 years old. Yang Ming was very familiar with them, as if he had seen them before. Yang Ming didn't have any impression of the other middle-aged man and the young girl, so after Yang Ming glanced at them, he didn't continue to stay, but returned to the man and woman in their 20s. Lan Ling, who was next to Yang Ming, also had the same reaction as Yang Ming. When she saw the man and woman, she was also stunned. Chapter 2085. However, even if he looked familiar, Yang Ming didn't say much in front of Elder Yu. Before some things were uncertain, it was better to say less. Moreover, Yang Ming didn't want Elder Yu to know something and have any ideas. Of course, Yang Ming didn't say it. As for whether Elder Yu himself knew the connection, it was his business. It had little to do with Yang Ming. You mean, let us be lab rats to test the voodoo for you? Yang Ming didn't entangle with the two familiar people for the time being, but asked Elder Yu directly. Yes, that's it. You reacted quickly and understood my intentions at once. Elder Yu nodded and said, the refinement of voodoo needs to be tested, especially this kind of voodoo that has not been refined before and has no refining experience. It won't work to build a cart behind closed doors. Now that it has reached the cultivation stage, some experiments must be carried out. You just happened to come to me at this time. You really chose the time well. Isn't that dangerous? Anyway, if you are poisoned with voodoo, you will die if you don't understand it. You will also die if you test it. Why should we help you test the voodoo? Asked Yang Ming. Since the two people were now standing on opposite sides, there was nothing wrong with saying some things frankly. Yang Ming had to understand some things before he could make further plans. Elder Yu also had Yang Ming in his grasp at this moment, so he didn't avoid some words. He naturally said what he should say. There is not much danger in testing the voodoo. Elder Yu glanced at Yang Ming and said, this voodoo belongs to the body's defense type. Even if it doesn't succeed, it won't cause any harm to you. What's more, I will give you some ordinary goo detoxification pills. There is no problem with using them to detoxify this small number of Jin Gang voodoo. Of course, there was something that Elder Yu didn't say. That was, if the Jin Gang voodoo succeeded and was eaten by Yang Ming, then it would be fucked up. At that time, Yang Ming would possess the Jin Gang goo, then what would Elder Yu do? Therefore, Elder Yu couldn't say this. Saying it was equivalent to hinting Yang Ming to do so. Elder Yu had no doubt that with Yang Ming's scheming, he wouldn't be able to discern anything from it. At that time, he wouldn't play the tiger but end up as a dog. Then, the loss would outweigh the gain. I see. Yang Ming nodded. It's the voodoo that is beneficial to the body, right? You can interpret it that way. Elder Yu nodded. He was shocked. If Yang Ming said this, he hoped that he didn't notice anything. However, he couldn't say much. In case Yang Ming didn't think of anything, his explanation would make Yang Ming think of something. Okay, in that case, I agree. Yang Ming nodded. I will help you test this voodoo. Awesome. You can rest assured. If you do this, I won't treat you badly. Lu Tianqi, introduce yourselves. In the future, these people will also join in the research of the Vajra voodoo. I hope that you can cooperate with each other, but don't think of making some trouble. After so many years, you know my temper. If I find out that you are plotting something, then don't blame me for being rude. Elder Yu said with a sigh of relief, Lu Tianqi, introduce yourselves. In the future, these people will also join in the research of the Vajra voodoo. Lu Tianqi, it really is Lu Tianqi. Yang Ming's heart moved. The person in front of him was Lu Tianqi, the son of his godfather, Lu Weishan. He disappeared with his wife when he was newly married, making Lu Weishan sad for so many years. What Yang Ming didn't expect was that when he just came to Miaojiang, he would see Lu Tianqi. And Lu Tianqi, as expected, was also caught by Elder Yu here. According to Lu Weishan's description, Lu Tianqi was an expert in the study of bacteria. He also dabbled in voodoo. He was also a close friend of the miracle doctor, Lin Dongfang. He once studied voodoo with Lin Dongfang, but soon, the two disappeared together. Then, in this way, the middle-aged man other than Lu Tianqi was Lin Dongfang. What about the girl next to Lin Dongfang? Is she Lin Dongfang's wife? Yang Ming looked up and saw that there seemed to be no love between the man suspected to be Lin Dongfang and the girl. From the behavior of the two, they didn't seem to be husband and wife. Lin Dongfang was about 30 years old, and the girl should only be 18 or 19 years old. The girl had delicate features. Although she couldn't be said to be the best beauty, she was still very beautiful. The girl's temperament was somewhat indifferent. From her face, there was no extra information. Yang Ming shook his head. Although the girl was beautiful, there was always a feeling of rejection. This feeling made Yang Ming a little uncomfortable, but this had little to do with Yang Ming. Yang Ming didn't have any thoughts about the girl. There were already two beauties by his side. Yang Ming couldn't have any thoughts about the girl. What's more, Yang Ming came out to perform a mission this time, not to pick up girls. However, Lu Yezi, who was next to Yang Ming, stared at the girl. He seemed to be unable to extricate himself. This made Yang Ming speechless for a while. After kicking him, Lu Yezi recovered and couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. It wasn't that Lu Yezi had never seen beautiful women. In fact, he had seen a lot of beautiful women. He wasn't the kind of person who couldn't take a step forward when seeing a beautiful woman. Especially in the team, Xia Shui, Lan Ling, and Xiao Susu were all beautiful women. He was even more accustomed to it. It was just that Lu Yezi had a special feeling for the girl. When he saw her, his heart jumped for no reason. It was like the legendary love at first sight. In short, there was a feeling of his heart beating faster. My name is Lu Tianqi. I am engaged in the research of bacteriology. This is my wife, Chen Xiaojing. She is also my assistant. Lu Tianqi nodded to Yang Ming and briefly introduced his and his wife's name and profession. In Lu Tianqi's view, Yang Ming was also a pitiful person. He was probably similar to him. He was forced by Elder Yu and had no freedom in the future. Yang Ming, this is my girlfriend, Lan Ling. They are my team members, Lu Yezi, Xia Shui, Feng Tianlong, and Xiao Susu. Yang Ming said to Lu Tianqi, we belong to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. This time, we actually came to deal with Elder Yu, but we didn't expect his sinister voodoo to be so powerful. We didn't succeed in dealing with it. Instead, we were caught by him. It turns out that you are from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. I have heard of you. Lu Tianqi adjusted his glasses and nodded. Lu Tianqi looked like a scholar. He didn't seem to be very good at talking, but such people generally didn't have bad intentions and were easier to get along with. On the other side, Lu Tianqi's wife, Chen Xiaojing, also nodded to Yang Ming and others, indicating that she had seen them. Chapter 2086. I am Lin Dongfang, a doctor. I am a good friend of Lu Tianqi. I am studying voodoo here. Lin Dongfang nodded to Yang Ming and said, this is my adopted daughter, Yi. She is also my assistant. It turned out to be the relationship between the adopted daughter and the adopted father. Yang Ming nodded suddenly. This person was Lin Dongfang, which was also within Yang Ming's expectations. When he saw him and Lu Tianqi together, Yang Ming guessed that this person might be Lin Dongfang, so when he heard Lin Dongfang's words at this time, he was not too surprised. Hello, Dr. Lin, Miss Yi, said Yang Ming politely. Well, since you all know each other, you can help me study voodoo in the future. If there is anything, you can discuss it by yourselves. I will go first. After Elder Yu arranged for Yang Ming and others to stay here, he did not continue to say anything. Elder Yu was eager to call Dong Jun and show off that he had caught Yang Ming. In the beginning, he let Dong Jun deal with Yang Ming for so long, but there was no effect. However, when he made a move, it was successful. How could this not make Elder Yu happy? Watching Elder Yu and his men leave in the helicopter, Yang Ming breathed a sigh of relief. In any case, the matter had temporarily come to an end. Although this time, he could not do anything to Elder Yu. Elder Yu easily resolved his several attacks, which made Yang Ming somewhat aggrieved. The overall result was still good. Yang Ming not only found his godfather, Lu Weishan's son, Lu Tianqi, and his daughter-in-law, but he also found the miracle doctor, Lin Dongfang. In this way, not only did he have an explanation for his godfather's side, but there was also hope for Shin Yushi's side. Of course, Yang Ming was not worried about other things. Although he was temporarily imprisoned by Elder Yu, now it seemed that there was nothing wrong with it. At least, everyone was still very free. In this valley, they could do whatever they wanted, but they could not leave the valley. There were no other restrictions. Here, he could slowly find a way to deal with Elder Yu, especially with these experts who were quite knowledgeable in voodoo. Yang Ming was not worried that he could not find a way to deal with Elder Yu. At that time, as long as there was a way to deal with Elder Yu, it would not be difficult to escape from the valley. Since you are here, I will find a place for you to rest and live. Everyone is considered to have gone through hardships together. As for the research on voodoo, there is no hurry. We can talk about it later. Lu Tianqi glanced at Yang Ming and others and spoke. Lu Tianqi was a very easygoing person. It could be seen that this person should be very easy to get along with. Brother Lu, do you still remember me? My name is Lan Ling. I'm from Blue Miao village. We've met before when you were picking herbs in the Medicine Valley. Lan Ling waved her hand at Lu Tianqi and said. At this moment, Lan Ling finally remembered why she found Lu Tianqi's photo so familiar when she saw him in Lu Weishan's house for the first time. It turned out that she had seen Lu Tianqi in the Medicine Valley. At that time, Elder Yu hadn't moved the Medicine Valley yet. Lu Tianqi could only go to the Medicine Valley to collect herbs in order to test the voodoo. Oh. Lu Tianqi was slightly stunned. He looked at Lan Ling. After a while, he nodded and said, I seem to have a little impression. You also went to the Medicine Valley at that time. The two people did not have much interaction before. They just met. Maybe they did not even talk, so Lu Tianqi only had a vague impression. It was not deep. Haha, Brother Lu, sister-in-law, we finally meet. Lan Ling saw that Lu Tianqi recognized her, so she said with a smile. Brother. Sister-in-law. Lu Tianqi felt a little strange with the way Lan Ling addressed him. Although he was definitely older than Lan Ling, he felt inexplicable when she called him brother and sister-in-law after only meeting once. Hee, let me say it. Yang Ming also stepped forward at this time and said to Lu Tianqi, Brother Lu, in fact, Lu Weishan, Elder Lu, is my godfather. I am his godson. This time, in addition to dealing with Elder Yu, I have another purpose in coming to Miaojiang. That is to find you. What? After Lu Tianqi heard Yang Ming's words, he suddenly widened his eyes and looked at Yang Ming in disbelief. You know my father. And you are his godson. Yes, that's right. Yang Ming nodded solemnly. When Elder Yu was here, there were some words that were inconvenient for me to say, so I didn't say it. At this time, he left, so I will tell you the truth. Lu Tianqi looked at Yang Ming, and his expression was very excited. Come to think of it, for so many years, he was also very homesick. He also missed his parents, but he couldn't contact the outside world, and there was no source of information. He didn't know if his parents were well. Even if he could go to the Medicine Valley to pick herbs, it was also secretly followed by Elder Yu's subordinates. He could not have the opportunity to contact his family. Moreover, Lu Tianqi was different from Yang Ming. He was a scholar, and he did not have Yang Ming's powerful skills. Naturally, it was impossible for him to go against Elder Yu's subordinates. Today, he saw Yang Ming and several new captives of Elder Yu, but he had no other thoughts. In his opinion, in the vast sea of people, Yang Ming could not have contact with his father, so he simply did not think about asking. But what he did not expect was that Yang Ming was actually his father's godson. My father is in good health. Although Lu Tianqi felt that Yang Ming should not lie, after all, Yang Ming's identity in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was there, he still had some doubts. After all, things were too unbelievable, so he could not accept it for a while. Godfather and godmother are in good health, but they miss you a little. Before your birthday, Godfather mentioned you to me. Yang Ming saw that Lu Tianqi did not quite believe his words, so he smiled and took out a photo from his arms. This was a family photo. It was a group photo of himself, Xiaoqing, and Lu Weishan. Yang Ming brought it over as evidence. This is me and another girlfriend, with Godfather and Godmother. Her name is Xiaoqing, Godfather's goddaughter, Xiaoqing. I recognize her. Yes, it's her. We used to be colleagues. I was also a researcher in the biological laboratory of Songjiang Industry University. When Lu Tianqi saw the photo, he immediately believed Yang Ming's words. His expression also showed some nostalgia. Right, how is Xiaoqing your girlfriend? Doesn't she have a boyfriend called Song? Song something. At that time, Lu Tianqi did not pay attention to Xiaoqing. He just thought of her as a colleague. At that time, Xiaoqing was not Lu Weishan's goddaughter, and they did not have any interaction, so Lu Tianqi naturally could not remember so clearly. It was not easy to remember that Xiaoqing had a fiancé with the surname Song. Chapter 2087. He's called Song Hang. Yang Ming said, they broke up a long time ago. Xiaoqing is now my woman. I have more girlfriends. Yang Ming didn't mean to hide anything from Lu Tianqi. Since Lu Weishan knew about these things, Lu Tianqi would know when he went back. Moreover, the relationship between Yang Ming and Xiaoqing was already like this. It wasn't good to call her godsister. It turned out to be like this. Lu Tianqi's expression was a bit weird when Yang Ming said that he had more girlfriends. However, they weren't too familiar at this time, so it wasn't good to ask more. His mind wasn't on this, but on his parents. It's good that they are in good health. I am relieved. All these years, I've been thinking about them the most. Thank you for bringing me this good news, Yang Ming. Well, since you're my father's godson, then I'll call you Brother Yang Ming. I'm older than you, I'm already 32 years old, so I'm not taking advantage of you. It should be like this. You are my elder brother. Yang Ming smiled and was a little surprised. But you are 32 years old. You look like you are in your 20s. This is all thanks to Brother Lin Dongfang. The Jin Gang voodoo wasn't refined, but the youthful medicine was refined. After eating it, you will always look like this. Do you want to eat it? This is easy to refine. Lu Tianqi pointed at Lin Dongfang and said with a smile, this is my sworn brother. Since you are my sworn brother, you can also call him Brother Lin or Big Brother Lin. Big Brother Lin. Yang Ming solemnly cupped his fist to Lin Dongfang and said, I'm taking advantage of you. Uncle Guan Xuemin mentioned you in front of me before. He is your peer, but I call you Big Brother. Calling me Big Brother is right. Guan Xuemin, that old man, insisted on worshipping me as a teacher. He made me look very old. It is good that I don't call him uncle. If you call me Big Brother, it can highlight my youth and handsomeness. Lin Dongfang said with a laugh. Ah. Yang Ming was stunned. He didn't expect Lin Dongfang, who looked like a person with a strong aura, to be so funny when he talked. He was an interesting person. Then I will call you Brother Lin. That's right. Since you are Lu Tianqi's younger brother, then you are my, Lin Dongfang's, sworn brother. When the time comes, I will also give you a beauty pill. Once you eat it, you will be young forever. Us three brothers will still be so handsome after 20 years. Just thinking about it makes me feel good. Lin Dongfang said. There's no need for that, right? I've already retained my youth forever. I've been afflicted with heart goo, so I don't need to take any youth-retaining pills to retain my youth forever, Yang Ming said. It seemed that Lin Dongfang was very easygoing. Previously, Yang Ming was still thinking about how to mention Shen Yushi's matter to him, but now it seemed that this was not a problem. Lin Dongfang had become his sworn brother, so there was no need to be polite. Voodoo. What was that? I've never heard of it. Lin Dongfang was stunned. I know about this. The one who spoke was Lin Dongfang's adopted daughter, Yi. However, although the girl spoke, her expression was still so cold as if she was otherworldly. Voodoo is divided into many kinds, but the basic use is a kind of voodoo that a woman gives to a man, so that the man's love for the woman will never change for the rest of his life. Once there is a change of heart, there will be a variety of punishments. There are many versions of heart goo. I can't tell the specifics, but some heart goo does have some benefits for people. In addition to not changing one's heart, it can bring a lot of unexpected gains. I think Uncle Yang's heart goo is one of them. Uncle Yang. Yang Ming touched his nose. I'm only 1 or 2 years older than the girl, right? How did I become an uncle? Anyway, Yang Ming didn't have any thoughts about Yi. This kind of woman wasn't Yang Ming's cup of tea. Yang Ming didn't like an expressionless and cold girl by his side all day long. That way, Yang Ming would be depressed to death. Even the assassin, Wang Xiaoyan, was very lively. She was just a little colder to outsiders. Therefore, Yang Ming accepted the title of uncle, but he also admired this Yi. He was obviously not much older than her, but when she called him uncle, she didn't have the slightest hesitation, as if it was a very normal thing. It could be seen that the girl's mind was very pure, and she didn't have so many thoughts. Yes, Yi is right. My heart goo is indeed like this. It has this benefit. Moreover, not only can it keep one's youth forever, but it can also treat some diseases, and it has the effect of detoxifying voodoo. Yang Ming said, for example, before, the relatively mild voodoo in my team could be solved with my blood, but the more serious ones can't. It turned out to be like this. Lin Dongfang nodded and said, this is a bit magical. But now is not the time to talk. You should be very tired, right? Younger brother Yang, I will take you to find a place to stay first. You can settle down and rest. If there is anything, we will talk about it in detail tomorrow, said Lu Tianqi. At this moment, the sky was getting late. Yang Ming nodded after listening to Lu Tianqi's words. All right, let's talk about it in detail tomorrow. Today, my team and I are tired. We have been busy for a day. It is good to rest early. Younger brother Yang, you come with me. I will take you to your residence. Lu Tianqi nodded and led the way in front of Yang Ming to the row of houses. Okay. Thank you. Yang Ming nodded and said. Right, younger brother Yang, I wonder if you can lend me your photo. Lu Tianqi asked as he walked. To tell you the truth, I really miss my parents. I haven't seen them for so many years. I don't even have a photo with me. I'll give this photo to you. I have many more at home. This one is actually for you. Yang Ming smiled and gave his family photo to Lu Tianqi. When you go back, let's take another photo together. That will be the real family photo. I hope there will be such a day. Lu Tianqi listened to Yang Ming's words and seemed a little excited. He took the photo and looked at the smiling faces of his parents in the photo again. Lu Tianqi smiled bitterly. They are old. Time and tide wait for no man. In a blink of an eye, so many years have passed. There are some differences with my impression. Father and mother have white hair. I really hope to return to them sooner. Yes, after we work together to deal with Elder Yu, we can go back. Yang Ming said with a smile. Chapter 2088. Kill Elder Yu. You want to kill him? Lu Tianqi was stunned and looked at Yang Ming with some surprise. He didn't expect that Yang Ming still wanted to kill Elder Yu even though he was controlled by Elder Yu. This made him a little shocked. Yang Ming couldn't even protect himself now. How could he say such a thing? This made Lu Tianqi a little surprised. In Lu Tianqi's opinion, it was almost impossible to leave here. Yang Ming not only wanted to leave, but also wanted to kill Elder Yu. My purpose of coming here is to deal with Elder Yu. Being caught by him is just a strategy. If I don't want to be brought here by him, he can't do anything about it. Yang Ming said, the reason why I came here with him is to slowly think of a way to deal with him. It turned out to be like this. Lu Tianqi said, it seems that your words have given me some hope. However, you are now trapped here. How can you deal with Elder Yu? We have to talk about this in detail tomorrow. Well, let's rest today. I am a little tired. Yang Ming said, let's talk about it in detail tomorrow when you have enough energy. Today's matter is enough to shock you. When you calm down tomorrow, we can talk about it. That's true. Lu Tianqi nodded and said, you all rest first tonight. The news you brought me is enough for me to digest at night. As they spoke, they arrived in front of a house not far away. This house looks good. It looks like a villa. Yang Ming was a little surprised by the building in front of him. The large house in front of him was like a townhouse. It was all single family. Each family had 3 floors and was built beautifully. It is a villa. Lu Tianqi nodded and said, a lot of such villas were built during the construction. Originally, Elder Yu and his men also lived here in order to watch us study Jin Gang Voodoo. However, after a long time, they were impatient and moved away. These villas are also empty. You all can take a look and choose whichever one you like. There is no key. We don't lock the door usually, and there are no thieves here. Thieves can't come in and out. Besides, we don't have any property to steal. Hee hee. That's true. Then I will choose a villa casually. Yang Ming nodded and said, everyone also choose a villa. Settle down first, sleep to replenish your strength, and then report to my villa. After 2 hours, come here on time. No one is to be late. Yes. Lu Yezi and others quickly responded. These people were all well-trained people. Yang Ming agreed on a 2-hour rest time. They would naturally rush to Yang Ming's villa at this time. Yang Ming naturally lived in the same villa as Lan Ling. Yang Ming asked for a villa on the side. In fact, all the villas were the same. Moreover, the climate here was pleasant all year round. Every villa was the same. There was no difference. Xia Shui looked at Yang Ming and hesitated. She still asked for her own villa. Her relationship with Yang Ming hadn't reached that stage. Although the two of them had the experience of living in the same room in the Wang family's base, it was under circumstances where they had no choice. Now that they had extra villas, it wasn't good to live together. Therefore, Xia Shui chose a villa, but it was the one beside Yang Ming's villa. It was next to Yang Ming's villa. Lu Yezi and Feng Tianlong didn't care. The two of them each chose a villa and lived in it. Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu's relationship was already clear. The two of them didn't hesitate and lived together openly. After Lu Tianqi settled Yang Ming and others, he and Lin Dongfang returned to their own villas. While walking, Lu Tianqi said, "Brother Lin, this time. Brother Lu is here. Do you think we have a chance to go out?" "Hee, maybe." Lin Dongfang laughed, "But, when we first came, didn't we also plan to go out? But so many years have passed in a flash. Our thoughts have faded a lot." Yes. Time flies. Lu Tianqi sighed. "Actually, if it weren't for my parents at home, it would be the same no matter where I lived. Here, I have Xiao Jing to accompany me. Living here is carefree. Yes, I am even more carefree. I only have one adopted daughter, Yi. I don't have any other family members. Living here, I enjoy the happiness of family, so I live here like this." Lin Dongfang said, "But I am worried about Yi. I will leave one day. What will Yi do then? I can't let her continue to stay here, right? Yi has been here since she was 10 years old. She hasn't seen much of the world. This has caused her to have a somewhat solitary character. I don't know if she can integrate into the crowd after she goes out. Will she continue to be so solitary?" Lu Tianqi said worriedly. "That's what I'm worried about. I'm called a divine doctor and can cure hundreds of diseases, but the problem of loneliness can't be cured." Lin Dongfang nodded and said, "Forget it, let's not think about this for now. Let's go back and rest. Tomorrow, when Brother Yang wakes up, we'll discuss it again." "That's true." Lu Tianqi nodded and returned to the villa with Qin Xiaojing. Lin Dongfang also went back to rest. Elder Yu boarded the helicopter and couldn't wait to call the behind-the-scenes boss. Dong Jun. Dong Jun's mood was not very good these days. He had a few phone calls with his sister, Alice, to discuss the future of both of them. However, both of them were somewhat confused about the future. They wanted to escape the control of the central government, but there was no way. In order to get away from the control of the central government, Dong Jun had been scheming over the years. He did not let go of any opportunity to cultivate his own forces. He used various means to constantly improve his personal ability and secret forces. Among them, Jing Xiaoping of the Macau Casino was Dong Jun's apprentice and one of the forces he cultivated. However, he did not expect that Jing Xiaoping actually turned to Yang Ming. Another force was a theft group that he secretly cultivated, but the leader of this theft group was also killed by Yang Ming at the jewelry exhibition. Another force was a club composed of Muay Thai masters. The president, Li Lixin, was also one of the forces he cultivated. He originally wanted her to deal with Yang Ming, but when Dong Jun found that Yang Ming was not a simple person, he decisively gave up. He did not want to lose the people he cultivated with difficulty. Chapter 2089. Of course, Alice was Dong Jun's sister. She was also the best assistant that he had cultivated. However, Alice's recent abnormal behavior also made Dong Jun realize a serious problem. Alice might have fallen in love with Yang Ming. Although Alice didn't admit it and Dong Jun didn't confirm it, he had a hunch that Alice might have really fallen in love with Yang Ming. Or, she didn't know that she had fallen in love with him. Dong Jun was deeply aware of Yang Ming's charm. This could be seen from the women around Yang Ming. Yang Ming was very powerful, so Dong Jun didn't doubt that Yang Ming had the charm to attract Alice. Yang Ming, Yang Ming. My junior, what should I do? Dong Jun was a little confused. Yes, he was really confused. In order to become Feng Tian's disciple, Dong Jun had put in a lot of effort. Through the news, he found out about Fong Tian's past and tried every means to find Fong Tian, the king of assassins. Through some means and schemes, he became Fong Tian's disciple. Originally, Dong Jun thought that after becoming Fong Tian's apprentice, he could learn Fong Tian's true skills and become the next generation of the king of assassins. He would also become the son-in-law of the butterfly family. In this way, Dong Jun would have extraordinary forces and strength. Although these forces and strength might not be enough to fight against Central, it was enough to challenge and talk. Central probably wouldn't go against the legend of the assassin world, the king of assassins. They wouldn't casually start a feud with a terrifying existence like the butterfly family. Dong Jun believed that with his own efforts and the cooperation of other forces, he still had the possibility of escaping from Central. Although he couldn't do anything to Central, Central might give him face and let him leave Central smoothly because of his identity. Then, Dong Jun's ultimate goal would be achieved. However, what Dong Jun didn't expect was that Fong Tian actually used the reason that Dong Jun's body wasn't suitable to practice martial arts and rejected him to become the direct disciple of the king of assassins. He only taught him some qigong and stealing skills. Although he became a godly thief, Dong Jun was still very depressed. His body had always been in good condition, so why was it unsuitable for him to practice martial arts? Furthermore, Dong Jun specially went to the hospital to check his body. He found that his body was no different from a normal person's. There was no saying that he couldn't practice martial arts. Therefore, he took the examination report to Fong Tian to ask about it. However, Fong Tian still said that the results of the examination didn't mean anything. It wasn't that there was a problem with his body, but that he wasn't suitable for practicing martial arts. This had something to do with the bone structure, but it had nothing to do with one's health. Dong Jun was helpless and could only give up for the time being. However, he was faintly dissatisfied in his heart. He racked his brains to get close to Fong Tian because he wanted to become the king of assassins. In the end, it became an empty dream. How could he give up? What Dong Jun couldn't accept the most was that Fong Tian seemed to be looking for other disciples besides him. He wanted to accept another disciple to inherit his legacy. This made Dong Jun very anxious. In a moment of desperation, he actually discovered some problems by chance. Fong Tian's wife actually had an affair with a gangster boss. As for Dong Jun, he cleverly used this relationship to frame Fong Tian and put him in the detention center. Dong Jun's purpose was to let Fong Tian enter the detention center so that he wouldn't have the opportunity to contact the outside world. Naturally, he wouldn't meet a suitable successor. In this way, after a long time, he could only consider Dong Jun his only disciple. There was no other choice. He could only pass on the king of assassins' unique skill to Dong Jun. Of course, Dong Jun's wishful thinking was good, but the reality was somewhat different from his imagination. He didn't expect that there would be such an existence like Yang Ming, who happened to be in the detention center. Yang Ming's skill and Yang Ming's heart were just in line with Fong Tian's standards for accepting a disciple. Therefore, Fong Tian transferred his attention to Yang Ming. Fong Tian told his intention to Dong Jun. Although Dong Jun was very sullen and his plan was ruined, he had no choice but to help Fong Tian investigate Yang Ming's background and so on. On the surface, he had to pretend to agree. Although Dong Jun wasn't the direct disciple of the king of assassins at that time, it was easy for him to secretly kill Yang Ming with his swift and fierce qigong. Even if he didn't do it personally, it would be easy to let the men of sacrifice around him orly Lachine to kill Yang Ming. But Dong Jun couldn't do this. Fong Tian wasn't a fool. Fong Tian seemed to have suspected that Dong Jun's purpose of apprenticeship was somewhat impure, so he used the excuse that Dong Jun wasn't suitable to practice martial arts and didn't pass on the unique skill. At this moment, if something happened to Yang Ming, Fong Tian's first suspect would probably be Dong Jun. Therefore, Dong Jun didn't dare to make a move. He wanted to deal with Yang Ming, but he could only wait for a while. He couldn't act rashly for a while. Therefore, after this, Dong Jun chose to cooperate with Elder Yu to kill Yang Ming. But what he didn't expect was that Yang Ming had become so powerful after growing step by step. When Dong Jun made up his mind to make a move, he was shocked to find that things were out of his control. Yang Ming wasn't so easy to kill. It was even more so now. He even used the spies buried in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, but they couldn't do anything to Yang Ming. The sniper sent by Alice was also useless. At this time, everything was too late. Could it be that I want to cooperate? Dong Jun took a deep breath and stared at his computer screen. Previously, he had just finished another conversation with Dr. Benjamin. Dr. Benjamin asked again if there was any news about Dr. Sun and Suya. Dong Jun once again flatly refused. Since there was already disloyalty, Dong Jun naturally wouldn't be so honest to tell Dr. Benjamin what he knew. As he was thinking about things, Dong Jun's phone rang. Dong Jun picked up the phone and glanced at it. When he saw the caller ID above, he couldn't help but be stunned. It was actually Elder Yu calling. Hello. Elder Yu. Dong Jun picked up the phone. Why are you calling me so late at night? Now, it was already 8:00 in the evening. At this time, Elder Yu suddenly called, which made Dong Jun feel a little inexplicable. The behind-the-scenes boss. Let me tell you a piece of good news, ha ha ha. Elder Yu couldn't help but laugh when he remembered that he had imprisoned Yang Ming. Good news? What good news? Dong Jun couldn't help but ask after listening. Yang Ming has been caught by me. How is it? You didn't expect it, right? Wahahaha. As Elder Yu said this, he laughed wildly again. Chapter 2090. What? Yang Ming was caught by you. After Dong Jun listened to Elder Yu's words, he couldn't help but stand up in shock. He almost threw the phone in his hand. If Dong Jun's estimation was correct, Yang Ming should have just entered Miaojiang, right? How did he get caught by Elder Yu when he just entered Miaojiang? What the hell is going on? How did he get caught by Elder Yu when he just entered Miaojiang? What the hell is going on? Dong Jun felt a little surprised. After all, he had dealt with Yang Ming for a long time. He even used the spies buried in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, but he couldn't do anything to Yang Ming. He had used all his means, but Yang Ming was still fine. However, what did Elder Yu do? After Yang Ming just went to Miaojiang, he was caught by him. This made Dong Jun somewhat unable to accept it for a while. After all, things happened too suddenly and too strangely. Yes, Yang Ming was caught by me. Are you surprised? Elder Yu heard Dong Jun's shocked tone, and his heart was even more proud. How is it? Are you shocked? How are you going to thank me? Thank you my ass. Dong Jun almost scolded. On his side, he had just made up his mind to fully cooperate with Yang Ming after he came back. He wanted to use Yang Ming's power to negotiate with Central, but what he didn't expect was that Elder Yu actually caught Yang Ming. What kind of game was this? Dong Jun thought that when Yang Ming had an accident, Yang Ming was alive and kicking. He didn't expect that when Yang Ming had an accident, Yang Ming was caught by Elder Yu. Dong Jun had some struggles in his heart. Yang Ming is so weak, then my plan won't work. Instead of cooperating with Yang Ming, it is better to cooperate with Elder Yu. Thinking of this, Dong Jun's heart was sad. Why am I so unlucky? Really? Isn't Yang Ming very powerful? How did you catch him? Dong-jun asked calmly. Ha, if I say it, you may not believe it. But this is the case. Elder Yu laughed, and then he told the whole process of sending Stockade Master Ku to catch Yang Ming to Dong-jun. Of course, in order to highlight his wisdom, Elder Yu said that Yang Ming and others were worthless. They were pure fools who was caught by a small character like Stockade Master Ku. Do you think it is possible? After listening to Elder Yu's narration, Dong-jun questioned faintly, I say, Elder Yu, are you treating me as a fool? Was Yang Ming so easy to catch? Then I really doubt whether the person you catch is Yang Ming. The person I caught is naturally Yang Ming. How could I not know Yang Ming? I would recognize him even if he turned into ashes. Elder Yu didn't expect Dong-jun to say this, but he still said with certainty, if you don't believe me, I will send you a photo. You don't have to send me a photo. I just said that I doubt it, but I didn't say that I don't believe it. Dong-jun said faintly, I just doubt that you can catch Yang Ming so easily. Either the Stockade Master Ku you mentioned is too powerful. He is invincible and unparalleled, and he captured Yang Ming, or you and your disciple named Shanafu are useless. After being in Songjiang City for so long, you didn't do anything to Yang Ming, right? Ugh. Elder Yu was speechless by Dong-jun's words. He didn't expect that when he wanted to belittle Yang Ming, Dong-jun would belittle him instead. Therefore, Elder Yu was helpless and said truthfully, well, to be honest, Yang Ming was caught by Stockade Master Ku on purpose. Stockade Master Ku couldn't deal with Yang Ming at all. In fact, Yang Ming wanted to see me to deal with me, so he let Stockade Master Ku catch him so that he could deal with me. It turned out to be like this. I was wondering. Dong-jun sneered and said, what happened after that? Yang Ming saw you. Was he caught by you again? Of course it was like this. The situation at the beginning was like this. Elder Yu didn't dare to exaggerate this time. He just told the truth about the situation at the time. Otherwise, not only would he not be able to act cool in front of Dong-jun, but he would also be scolded by him as an idiot. Then, the loss outweighed the gain. Oh, you mean that Yang Ming took the initiative to go back with you? And you didn't catch him? Dong-jun asked thoughtfully. It's no different from me catching him. He was poisoned by my voodoo. If he didn't go back with me, all his team members would be finished. Elder Yu said, so it's equivalent to me forcing Yang Ming to go back with me. It turned out to be like this. After Dong-jun heard it, he felt that something was wrong. When did Yang Ming become so docile? In Dong-jun's memory, Yang Ming was the kind of person who would pay back 10 times if you touched him. How could Elder Yu force Yang Ming? Even if Yang Ming was poisoned by voodoo, it was impossible for him to go back with Elder Yu. Moreover, the people of Lanmiao village were not to be trifled with. When the time came, he could just let the people of Lanmiao village detoxify the voodoo. Was there a need to compromise with Elder Yu? Why? You don't seem to believe it. Asked Elder Yu. Lanmiao village can't detoxify the voodoo. Yang Ming's voodoo can't be detoxified by Lanmiao village. Dong-jun had to confirm this. Yes, but you don't know, right? This kind of voodoo requires the super antidote pill. In the entire Lanmiao village, there are at most 1 or 2 super antidote pills in stock. Yang Ming and his team members, a total of 5 people, were poisoned by voodoo. So, Yang Ming had to go with me for the safety of his team members. Elder Yu explained. Since the super antidote pill can be detoxified, why didn't the people of Lanmiao village refine a few pills? Dong-jun continued to ask. How can the super antidote pill be so easy to refine? Not only are the required materials not easy to collect, but there is also a medicine that can only be produced in a small amount in a year. Elder Yu said, "The most important thing is that I have moved all the medicinal valleys in Miaojiang to my territory. Now, Blue Miao Village doesn't even have a place to pick medicinal herbs. If they want to pick medicinal herbs, they have to go to a farther place. This has increased the difficulty of refining." "Oh, I see. I know. You're very good." After Dong Jun heard this, he sneered in his heart. Although it was difficult, it was not impossible. With Yang Ming's character, even if there was a glimmer of hope, no matter how difficult it was, he would not compromise with Elder Yu. However, Yang Ming compromised. This was very strange. However, Dong Jun was now leaning towards Yang Ming, so he was too lazy to remind Elder Yu, this arrogant man. In Dong Jun's opinion, Yang Ming compromised with Elder Yu inexplicably. There must be a trick behind it. Since Yang Ming could trick Leader Ku once, why couldn't he trick Elder Yu again? Chapter 2091. Elder Yu felt very aggrieved when he heard Dong Jun's indifferent praise. He felt like a fishbone was stuck in his throat. What he expected was that after Dong Jun heard the news of him catching Yang Ming, Dong Jun would give him incomparable praise and praise. However, things did not go as he wished. Dong Jun didn't seem to admire him. He praised him, but it made Elder Yu feel more uncomfortable than not praising him at all. "Why? Are you not happy?" Elder Yu found Dong Jun's attitude strange. "Happy? I'm very happy." "Who said that I'm not happy?" Dong Jun asked. At least, his thoughts couldn't be told to anyone. Although Elder Yu had no contact with Central at present, and even if there was, it was through him, Dong Jun knew that there was no harm in being careful. If his words were passed to Central's Dr. Benjamin, then he would be completely finished. Dr. Benjamin would definitely kill him. Therefore, Dong Jun's thoughts couldn't be revealed. Except for Alice, he couldn't tell Elder Yu, who was a collaborator of interests. Who knew if he would still be a collaborator tomorrow? Since they were together because of interests, they could be separated at any time because of interests. "Since you're happy, why are you so strange?" Elder Yu felt that Dong Jun was unspeakably weird today. "Oh, I have a cold, so I'm not in a good mood," explained Dong Jun. "It turned out to be like this." You should have said so earlier." Elder Yu was suddenly relieved. No wonder Dong Jun spoke indifferently today. It turned out that he was sick and had no energy. "I can't be calculative with a patient." As a result, Dong Jun's previous praise made Elder Yu feel very proud. Dong Jun was sick, but he still praised him like this. It was not easy. "That's right." Dong Jun still replied in an indifferent manner. "Right, Dong Jun, in addition, there is one thing I have to remind you. Your junior fellow apprentice Yang Ming has already guessed that the behind-the-scenes boss is your good senior fellow apprentice. It turns out that he always knew, but he just didn't expose you." Elder Yu told this explosive news to Dong Jun. What? He always knew. Dong Jun was stunned suddenly. He only felt that there was a feeling of thunder exploding in his ears. He suddenly stood up and asked anxiously, "He knows?" "Yes, of course he knows." Previously, I was also very puzzled as to how he knew, but his explanation was clear and logical. Elder Yu didn't expect Dong Jun to be so nervous, so he comforted, "But you can rest assured. Since Yang Ming has been caught by me, you don't have to worry about him retaliating against you. He can't go back." "Can't go back." Dong Jun felt a burst of disdain in his heart. "Are you the one who understands Yang Ming, or am I the one who understands Yang Ming?" With Yang Ming's character, he was not the kind of person who would allow others to trample on him. Since Yang Ming knew that the behind-the-scenes boss was him and still maintained such a harmonious relationship with him, it was enough to show how deep Yang Ming's shrewdness was. He was not a simple and powerful person. Oh. How did he explain it? Dong Jun asked calmly. You are also very curious, right? Elder Yu laughed and repeated what Yang Ming said at that time to Dong Jun without missing a word. So, it's like this. Dong Jun listened to Elder Yu's retelling and suddenly had a feeling of trepidation. It turned out that Yang Ming had begun to suspect me so early, and I had always thought that Yang Ming was a fool who didn't know anything. Dong Jun's heart was cold. If Yang Ming knew, then did my master, Fang Tian, also know about this matter? Suddenly, Dong Jun had a feeling of falling into an ice cellar. He was cold from head to toe. Fang Tian, how would he punish me? I am a traitor. With Fang Tian's ruthlessness, how could he let me stay? Dong Jun regretted it a little. However, for Yang Ming, Dong Jun was relieved instead. He was afraid of Fang Tian, not Yang Ming. Yang Ming's move made Dong Jun feel more at ease. Dong Jun could be said to be a person who understood Yang Ming's character very well. Yang Ming was not a person who would not take revenge. On the contrary, if anyone provoked Yang Ming would definitely step on them. The Lancer family, such a powerful existence, had become history overnight. What else could make Yang Ming endure? However, Yang Ming had not done anything to Dong Jun for so long. He did not even mention this matter. What did that mean? It could only mean one thing. Yang Ming was a person who cherished old friendships. He took into account that Dong Jun was his senior brother who had given him a lot of help on his path of growth. Therefore, he endured and did not do anything to Dong Jun. Dong Jun did not think that Yang Ming did not dare to do anything to him. On the contrary, it was very easy for Yang Ming to kill him. How could Dong Jun be Yang Ming's opponent? If Yang Ming wants to kill me, there are many opportunities. However, Yang Ming did not do so, which confirmed Dong Jun's guess. Yang Ming was always a person who cherished old friendships. Looking at some of Yang Ming's subordinates, some of them had offended Yang Ming before. Even some of the women around Yang Ming had disagreements with Yang Ming before, but Yang Ming did not care about it. This was enough to explain Yang Ming's character. Thinking of this, Dong Jun was relieved. If one day, Yang Ming returned safely, and he could confess to Yang Ming truthfully and admit his mistakes to Yang Ming, he believed that Yang Ming would definitely forgive him. However, Fang Tian was not so easy to deal with. Dong Jun believed that Yang Ming did not tell Fang Tian about these inferences. Otherwise, Fang Tian would not have kept him alive. Fang Tian had long been on guard against him. If he got substantial evidence, would he still allow him to live until now? Therefore, what Dong Jun had to do now was to confess to Fang Tian. After thinking about it, Dong Jun decided to test Fang Tian first, to see his reaction before making the next plan. If he wanted to cooperate with Yang Ming, he must first go through Fang Tian. Otherwise, if Fang Tian wanted to clean up the sect, Yang Ming could not go against Fang Tian's intention. Forget it. You are sick today. I won't bother you anymore. Elder Yu felt that it was very boring to talk to Dong Jun. After talking for a long time, the other party's attitude was very dull. He did not feel the surge of victory at all. Just as Dong Jun was thinking about how to confess to Fang Tian, in Yang Ming's villa, Zhou Jiejie and Xiao Qing had a breakthrough in the decryption of the mobile phone. Sister Xiao Qing, I unlocked the encryption of the mobile phone's font chip. Zhou Jiejie looked at the progress bar on the computer excitedly and shouted to Xiao Qing. Oh. You have already unlocked it. Xiao Qing quickly came over and saw Zhou Jiejie's computer screen. She was also a little excited. Sure enough, it was unlocked. It seems that our efforts in these few days were not in vain. Chapter 2092. Although it was finally solved by Zhou Jie, it was solved under the joint research of two people. It wasn't Zhou Jie's credit alone. Xiao Qing also helped a lot. Moreover, the two people worked in shifts. One worked for a while, and the other continued the previous progress. Otherwise, it would be too hard. Chen Mengyan and the others outside the room also heard Zhou Jie's cheerful voice. At this time, Lin Jiyun and the others pushed the door open and came in. How is it? Sister Xiao Qing, Jie, is there any progress? And, it has been solved. Now the data is being analyzed. Xiao Qing pointed to the computer screen and said, the password on the font bank has been solved. The remaining thing is to restore the contents of the font bank. That's great. In that case, we can know who wants to harm Yangming. We can also prepare in advance. Wang Xiaoyan's eyes flashed a hint of coldness. This person kept finding trouble with Yangming. How could she let it go easily? In theory, it is, but it also depends on the results of the data analysis. Xiao Qing said, it is possible to not find the specific person. Everything depends on what is in it. And, then you have worked hard. Wang Xiaoyan nodded. Let's go eat something first. Let's do it after we come back. Let's eat after we finish. Zhou Jie looked at the computer screen. Although there was basically no one on duty, Zhou Jie still wanted to see the results of the cracking sooner. Let's eat together. If you don't eat, we have to wait for you. Chen Mengyan said with a smile. That's good. Then let's eat together. Xiao Qing stood up and said, Jie, let's go. We are not in a hurry. Okay. Zhou Jie saw that Chen Mengyan said so, and it was inappropriate to refuse, so everyone went to the restaurant together. Originally, the nanny, Auntie Li, wanted to come back, but there were so many women in the villa. Chen Mengyan didn't want Auntie Li to see them. She was afraid that Auntie Li would be scared. Moreover, there were no outsiders, so it was more convenient for everyone to talk. Some secrets about Yangming weren't easy to let outsiders know. Although Auntie Li was not an outsider, she was not as intimate as the people in the villa. These people were all Yangming's lovers. Everyone's bond was Yangming, so there was no need to be too guarded against each other. Now that they had fought, they no longer had the intention to attack each other. No one was stupid. At this time, someone wanted to target Yangming. If they continued to fight, wouldn't they be making fools of themselves for Yangming's enemies? Who's the cook today? The taste is good. Xiao Qing picked up a piece of mushroom cabbage and put it into her mouth. She praised. There were more people in the villa, so everyone simply took turns to be responsible for the housework every day. In this way, there were only a few shifts in a month. No one was tired, but they all wanted to do it well. Therefore, the dishes in the villa every day were very sumptuous, and the villa was clean and spotless. This was unexpected by Yangming. If Yangming knew that the women would get along so well and that there would be delicious food to eat every day, Yangming would have gathered these people together. But then again, if there was no opportunity for Yangming to perform a dangerous mission this time, it would be impossible for the women to get along so peacefully. At least, it wouldn't be so easy. It's me, it's me. Jing Xiaolu heard Xiao Qing's praise and raised her hand happily. Xiaolu's cooking is good. Chen Mengyan also sincerely praised, it's better than us. The next time Xiaolu cooks, we have to watch it together. No problem. Everyone can learn from each other. Jing Xiaolu got everyone's approval and was very happy. In the past, my family was poor. I was the one who cooked for my grandmother. I have been busy with work for a while. Because of Yang Ming's matter, I haven't gone home to see my grandmother for a long time. After Jing Xiaolu became the chairman, she hired a nanny to take care of her grandmother. Although the nanny took care of her meticulously, Jing Xiaolu couldn't go back to accompany her grandmother every day. This made her feel a little regretful. After we find out who Yang Ming's enemy is, we will accompany you to go back to see your grandmother. Otherwise, we can bring her to live here. Chen Mengyan suggested. In the villa, everyone was actually led by Chen Mengyan and Sun Jia. However, Sun Jia was not involved in major events, so she didn't express her opinion. She gave the opportunity to Chen Mengyan. In Sun Jia's opinion, since Yang Ming liked it, then it was fine. It didn't matter if she fought for it or not. It was easier to manage less things. And, thank you, Sister Mengyan. But grandmother is used to living in the old house. Some of the old neighbors are unwilling to leave. Jing Xiaolu also proposed to buy a big house for her grandmother to live in, but her grandmother refused. She said that she was old and didn't want to change places. There were many old friends here. She could talk to them every day and not be lonely. Therefore, Jing Xiaolu had no choice but to follow her grandmother's wishes. After eating, Zhou Jiejie ran to the study. As soon as she entered the study, her eyes looked at the computer screen. Immediately, Zhou Jiejie exclaimed, "It's out! It's out!" Oh! Xiao Qing followed closely behind and entered the study. Zhou Jiejie's exclamation also made the others who were cleaning up the dishes run into the study. "It's out! Do you know who harmed Yang Ming?" Sun Jia walked in front and asked. "It's not clear yet, but I found a phone number in the phone. This is an important clue. This person has been in contact with this phone number before. Through this phone number, we should be able to find something," said Zhou Jiejie. "What's the phone number? Tell me. I will let my father investigate," asked Chen Mengyan quickly. "The phone number is..." Zhou Jiejie reported a phone number to Chen Mengyan, and she began to investigate the number on the internet. Chen Mengyan called her father, Chen Fei, and asked him to help check the phone number. Chen Fei agreed without saying anything. This was related to the safety of Yang Ming. It was a top priority. Chen Fei hung up the phone and contacted the fat man of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. However, 10 minutes later, Chen Mengyan was disappointed to receive a call from her father. "Mengyan, this number is a phone card purchased with fake information. The identity information is fake. It is not consistent with the real one. This card has been discontinued a long time ago," Chen Fei said at time. It was the second day after the death of the jewelry thief. Chapter 2093. It turned out to be like this. "Thank you, Dad." Chen Mengyan was a little disappointed. "But you don't have to worry. I have asked the fat man in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to check the original records to see if he can find out the approximate location where this phone card has been used," Chen Fei said. "When I have the results, I will call you as soon as possible." "Okay, then I'll leave it to you." Chen Mengyan nodded and hung up the phone. Then she said to Zhou Jiejie, "Jiejie, my father said that this phone card is not opened with real information. We can't find the owner of the phone card, but we can try to find the approximate location where this phone card has been used. This is not necessary. I can also find the approximate location where it has been used." Zhou Jiejie said, "I am checking. There should be results soon." Zhou Jiejie herself was a hacker, so it was natural for her to do these things. But, since this card is opened with false information, then the location found may not be useful. Wang Xiaoyan hesitated and said, the other party should also have anti-detection abilities. It won't be easily discovered. The location where it has been used has been found. Zhou Jiejie said, this card has been used in these locations in Songjiang City, but it is very close to the jewelry exhibition. He must have found a temporary foothold nearby, and this card was bought for the trade fair. Wait a minute. Where is this place? Chen Mengyan pointed to a positioning point near the city center and asked, in other words, he has also used this phone card at this location. There is a telecommunications market here. This card is probably bought from here. Zhou Jiejie said, I have been to that telecommunications market. It is a bit messy. Some vendors will sell phone cards for profit without verifying the user's information. This kind of phone call without information is really difficult to verify. So that's the case. Chen Mengyan nodded and was a little disappointed, but she immediately said, hey. Since that's the case, once we confirm which vendor sold this SIM card, will we be able to find the person who bought the card? This is also possible, but I don't have much research in this area. Zhou Jiejie shook her head. Wait a minute. Let me ask my father. Chen Mengyan felt that her idea should be a direction of investigation. She took out her mobile phone and dialed her father, Chen Fei's phone number again. Mengyan, is there anything else? Chen Fei quickly picked up the phone. Dad, Jiejie found out that this phone card should be sold from the XX mobile phone telecommunications market. Can you ask someone to investigate which store of this phone card to see if you can remember the owner of this phone card? Chen Mengyan's tea. Oh. You have found the sales channel of this phone card? Chen Fei was stunned. I've looked for the sales channel of this card before, but because it was an agent who privately used false information to open the card and sold it in batches, there was no record of which retail store it was sold to. There was no way to investigate further. I didn't expect you to have found the final seller of this phone card. It's just a general idea. It should be sold by one of the merchants in this market. This needs Dad to investigate. If we go, they won't admit it. Chen Mengyan said. You can rest assured. Leave it to me. Chen Fei was originally a criminal investigator. Since he already had a clear goal, it wasn't too difficult to find the seller of this phone card. After hanging up the phone, Chen Fei took an assistant and went to the XX mobile phone telecommunications market. After entering the mobile phone telecommunications market, Chen Fei didn't rush to ask. Instead, he directly found the market manager and showed his identity, asking him for help. Police comrade, in the market, there are only a dozen merchants who specialize in selling various phone cards. The rest are mainly selling mobile phones, mobile phone accessories, and mobile phone repair. Although they also sell some phone cards, this kind of special phone card should only be available to those merchants who specialize in selling cards. Other merchants don't have this kind of channel. Then, please take us to find some of these merchants who specialize in selling cards. Chen Fei nodded and said. Sure enough, with the manager leading the way, it had the effect of getting twice the result with half the effort. In this market, no one knew the business projects better than the manager. Because the manager was there, Chen Fei and his assistant were also wearing uniforms, so when checking the accounts of these merchants, they weren't stopped or concealed. Soon, they found the sales record of this phone card number in a middle-aged woman's account book. The call date of this phone card was clearly recorded, so it was easy to find the account of that day. Police comrade, I didn't know that he bought the phone card for illegal activities. The middle-aged woman quickly defended herself. I really didn't know. This person came to me and bought the phone card a few times. He can be considered a regular customer. I didn't think so much, bought a few times. Regular customer. Chen Fei was stunned and suddenly was a little happy. In other words, you have an impression of this person who bought the phone card. Yes, yes. The middle-aged woman quickly nodded and said, I have an impression of him. In this case, you first pack your things and go to the police station with us. We have a professional artist. You go and describe the appearance of this customer. Chen Fei said. Then, am I responsible? The middle-aged woman asked carefully. You selling this phone card is definitely illegal. The assistant said. Oh, don't worry. I will try my best to remember and help you draw the person who bought the phone card. After the middle-aged woman heard it, she was relieved. As long as it wasn't involved in any criminal case, it was fine. Soon, the artist and the police station drew the profile of the phone card buyer according to the middle-aged woman's description. And this painting was sent to Chen Fei's hands immediately. Oh. How could it be him? Chen Fei looked at the person in the portrait and was suddenly stunned. This person, Chen Fei recognized at a glance. It was actually Dong Jun. Chen Fei naturally knew a little famous godly thief. He had also dealt with Dong Jun a few times, but this person was basically a person who didn't commit big mistakes. Even if he knew that he was a godly thief, there was no direct evidence. Dong Jun was a hero thief who robbed the rich to help the poor. Chen Fei had heard a little about him, but such a person, how could he be involved with Yang Ming? Chapter 2094. After Chen Fei got the portrait, he didn't make any stops. Instead, he drove directly to Yang Ming's villa. It was Chen Fei's first time visiting Yang Ming's villa. Although he knew the address, he had never been there before. On the one hand, it was unnecessary. On the other hand, Chen Fei was afraid that he would be embarrassed when he saw Zhou Jiejie and Lin Jiyun. After all, his daughter lived with them. But now, he was afraid that it would be even more embarrassing. Chen Fei had already known the situation in the villa through the phone call with his daughter in the past few days. To investigate those photos, Chen Mengyan had to tell the truth and tell her father the situation in the villa. Fortunately, Chen Fei knew that Yang Ming wasn't ordinary. He was shocked, but he couldn't say much. After all, his daughter didn't say anything. What else could he say? Yang Ming wasn't at home at the moment. He was performing a dangerous mission, so Chen Fei couldn't make irresponsible remarks. After parking the car, Chen Fei rang the villa's doorbell. The person who opened the door was a girl that Chen Fei didn't know. Hello, who are you looking for? Across the iron gate outside the villa, Wang Xiaoyan looked at Chen Fei strangely and asked. My name is Chen Fei. I'm Chen Mingyan's father. Chen Fei nodded politely to her and introduced himself. Needless to say, this person must be one of Yang Ming's women. Chen Fei didn't have to confirm her identity. At this time, Xiaoying also came out. She said while walking, Yan Yan, who is it? Both of them heard the doorbell at the same time, but Wang Xiaoyan was one step faster than Xiaoying. Xiaoying. Teacher. Chen Fei looked at Xiaoying who walked out, and his expression suddenly became a little strange. He naturally knew Xiaoying. She was Mingyan's former teacher, but now she was one of Yang Ming's women. Although her current identity was no longer a teacher, but a college classmate of Yang Ming, Chen Fei still felt a little uncomfortable. Ah, it's Chen. Uncle Chen. Xiaoying was a little embarrassed to see Chen Fei. The two met at the parent-teacher conference. At that time, they discussed Chen Mingyan's math results, but now, Xiaoying had to call Chen Fei Uncle Chen. Then I will call you Xiaoying. Chen Fei smiled bitterly and had to accept the title of Uncle Chen. It couldn't be helped. This was a person who addressed his daughter as a sister. What else could he do besides being an uncle? You look for Meng Yan. I will call her. Although Zhao Ying called Qin Fei Uncle Qin, she was still a little embarrassed. She quickly turned around and ran back to the villa to find Qin Meng Yan. Wang Xiaoyan also quickly helped Qin Fei open the door of the villa and said, Uncle Qin, please come in. Qin Fei and Wang Xiaoyan walked into the living room together, and Qin Meng Yan also came down from upstairs. Zhou Jiejie, Xiao Qin, Jing Xiaolu, and others were with Qin Meng Yan. Uncle Qin, hello. The women, except for Qin Meng Yan, all greeted Qin Fei. They were very generous. This was also the result of everyone's agreement. If they kept avoiding each other, it would not be good. They might as well openly admit their relationship with each other. Hello. Qin Fei nodded with a smile and said, previously, I have investigated the matter that Meng Yan asked me to do, and I also have the results. Dad, did you find the owner of the phone card? Qin Meng Yan was stunned and asked with some surprise. I found it. Qin Fei nodded and said, I have found the seller of the phone card. According to her impression, I drew a portrait of the person who bought the phone card. It is here. Take a look and see if you recognize it. As Qin Fei spoke, he handed the portrait in his hand to Qin Meng Yan. Hey! After Qin Meng Yan saw the portrait, she felt that it was familiar. She seemed to have seen it somewhere. However, Qin Meng Yan did not have much of an impression of where she had seen it. She was afraid that she had seen it before, but she was not familiar with it. Other people, such as Zhou Jiejie, Zhao Ying, Jing Xiaolu, Sun Jia, and others, did not have any impression of the person in this portrait. Dong Jun. Only Wang Xiaoyan suddenly called out the name of the person in the portrait. Do you know him? Qin Fei was slightly stunned and looked at Wang Xiaoyan. The others did not know him, only Wang Xiaoyan knew him. Qin Fei naturally felt that Wang Xiaoyan should know something. I know him. Wang Xiaoyan nodded, but she was a little puzzled. How could it be him? Could it be, all of this was done by him? He had been targeting Yang Ming before, and those photos were also taken by him. I am not sure about this. Since you know him, is there any conflict between this person and Yang Ming? Asked Qin Fei. These. I am not sure for the time being. Wang Xiaoyan hesitated. Uncle Qin, I have troubled you with this matter. However, can you leave it to me for the time being? I have to go out and find someone. Well, since you said so, then I will leave it to you. Qin Fei hesitated and nodded. He probably guessed that Yang Ming should have some unknown secrets, and these secrets were not easy to say to him. Looking at the expression of his daughter, Qin Meng Yan, she should also know these things, but since she did not say it, there was naturally a reason not to say it. Dad, you have worked hard. If there is nothing else, you can go and do it. If there is anything on my side, I will contact you at any time. Qin Meng Yan knew that Wang Xiaoyan was probably going to find Yang Ming's master, Fang Tian, and this person seemed to be Yang Ming's senior. Qin Meng Yan seemed to have vaguely met this person, but she could not remember where exactly. Yang Ming did not make a detailed introduction. Okay, then I will go back first. Qin Fei nodded and got up to leave. After Qin Fei left, Wang Xiaoyan also packed up and prepared to find Fang Tian. Yan Yan, do you know this person? The other people asked impatiently. And this person is Yang Ming's senior, called Dong Jun. He is a godly thief. Wang Xiaoyan nodded and said, although I still don't know why it is this person's skill is extraordinary, and his qigong is amazing. If it is him, then it is not impossible to take those photos and hide it from all of us. The skill of a godly thief is naturally first class. But, since he is Yang Ming's senior, why is he targeting Yang Ming? Qin Meng Yan asked with some puzzlement. Perhaps, there is a conflict of interest between them. Sun Jia interrupted and said, since he is a senior, then it means that he joined Fang Tian's sect before Yang Ming, and Yang Ming joined Fang Tian's sect later. Did the appearance of Yang Ming touch his interests? Yeah, Sister Sun Jia's analysis is reasonable. Is it because of this? Chen Mengyan and others nodded after listening. Chapter 2095. For the time being. In fact, I don't know. Everything will have to wait until I meet Yang Ming's master, Fang Tian, before making a conclusion. After all, this portrait now can only mean that he bought the phone card. Wang Xiaoyan was also very shocked at the moment. She never thought that this person would be Dong Jun. She thought that this person might be from the Lancer family, but she never thought that this person would be Yang Ming's senior brother. Yang Ming's senior brother should be on the same side as Yang Ming. How could he become Yang Ming's enemy? Wang Xiaoyan couldn't figure it out, but she could figure it out at the same time. What she couldn't figure out was Dong Jun's motive, but what she could figure out was that if this person was really Dong Jun, then the previous matters were all consistent. At the jewelry exhibition, there was a god-level disciple who could appear. This also confirmed that this person was Dong Jun. Only a god-level thief like Dong Jun could have such a god-level disciple. However, what deep hatred was there between Dong Jun and Yang Ming? Wang Xiaoyan really couldn't figure out why Dong Jun would try to kill Yang Ming. There might be some conflict of interest between the two people, but in Wang Xiaoyan's opinion, it shouldn't be too big. Otherwise, why didn't Dong Jun directly stop Yang Ming from becoming a disciple? Wang Xiaoyan also understood the process of Yang Ming becoming a disciple afterward. It was with Dong Jun's help that Yang Ming was able to become Fang Tian's disciple. So, why did Dong Jun want to kill Yang Ming? That's fine. Then you go to Yang Ming's master. For this matter, it's best to contact Yang Ming and pass this news to him so that he can take precautions in advance. Said Chen Mengyan. I'm afraid this won't work. After Yang Ming left, he didn't contact us again, nor did he contact anyone else, so... Wang Xiaoyan shook her head. She knew more about Yang Ming's mission than others. On Fang Tian's side, Yang Ming didn't contact him again. It seems that we can only find a way ourselves. Chen Mengyan nodded. Yeah, then I'll go first. Wang Xiaoyan changed her shoes, left the villa, and drove straight to Fang Tian's home. Although Fang Tian and Wang Ruoshui had reconciled, Fang Tian still maintained his previous living habits. Every day after dinner, he would lie in the rocking chair and listen to the radio. He didn't watch TV, which made Wang Ruoshui very angry. She only scolded Fang Tian for not being interesting. When Wang Xiaoyan came, Wang Ruoshui was scolding Fang Tian. Fortunately, Wang Xiaoyan came and helped Fang Tian out of the situation, so Fang Tian didn't have the previous embarrassment. Wang Ruoshui couldn't say much. When she saw Wang Xiaoyan, she had to smile warmly. Yan Yan, you're here. Aunt, Uncle, I came here because I have something important to discuss with Uncle. After Wang Xiaoyan nodded to the two of them, she didn't say much. Instead, she went straight to the topic. Uncle, I think I found the person to deal with Yang Ming. Oh. You found it? Who is it? Fang Tian's face froze. He turned off the radio next to him and asked. It's Dong Jun. Said Wang Xiaoyan. Dong Jun. Fang Tian took a deep breath, but asked faintly, how did you know? Wang Xiaoyan was a bit baffled by Fang Tian's attitude at this moment. After Fang Tian heard that the person who wanted to deal with Yang Ming was Dong Jun, wasn't he shocked? Why did Fang Tian's expression seem to be as if he expected it and wasn't shocked? It's like this. Wang Xiaoyan told Fang Tian the process and result of the decryption through the mobile phone. She also told Fang Tian how she finally found out the seller of the phone card and how she drew the portrait of the person who bought the phone card. This is the portrait. Wang Xiaoyan took out the portrait that Qin Fei brought and placed it in front of Fang Tian. It really is him. Fang Tian nodded. In fact, I always knew it was him. Ah. Wang Xiaoyan was suddenly stunned. Uncle, you always knew. If Wang Xiaoyan didn't understand that Fang Tian must be closer to her and Yang Ming's side, she even suspected that Fang Tian was with Dong Jun. Otherwise, why was Fang Tian so calm? He already knew that the person who wanted to deal with Yang Ming was Dong Jun, but he didn't take any measures. However, Fang Tian was Wang Xiaoyan's uncle. No matter from which perspective, he should be on her side, not Dong Jun's side. Therefore, Wang Xiaoyan was even more confused. I always knew, but I wasn't sure. Fang Tian smiled. But now, when you take this portrait, I am sure. Always knew but not sure. Wang Xiaoyan was a bit baffled. Uncle, with your skills and means, it shouldn't be difficult to confirm this matter, right? Why? Isn't it strange? Why didn't I confirm it? Fang Tian waved his hand and said, that's right. I already knew that Dong Jun had some ambition and premeditation, so I never taught him the real assassin skills. I also didn't intend to let him inherit my legacy, and I wouldn't let him marry you. However, he always wanted to inherit my legacy. The appearance of Yang Ming hindered him and prevented him from becoming the new generation of king of assassins, so it was normal for him to deal with Yang Ming. From those few things, I also roughly deduced that the person behind the scenes was Dong Jun. However, I didn't verify it because once I verified it, with my character, I would never let him live. I would clean up the family. Ah. Uncle, do you mean that you are reluctant to clean up the family? Or is it because of the old relationship? Wang Xiaoyan didn't expect the situation to be like this. Do you think that I, your uncle, am such a person? Fang Tian smiled. I didn't kill him. Naturally, there is a reason not to kill him. My reason is very simple. That is, Yang Ming needs to be tempered if he wants to grow. As the saying goes, adversity breeds talent. This is the truth. If he is a flower in a greenhouse, how can he achieve great things? How can he become the king of assassins? You have seen the growth of Yang Ming in this year. If there was no opponent, Yang Ming would only be stagnant. It was the appearance of opponents that made Yang Ming become stronger. And the reason why I kept Dong Jun and didn't ask for confirmation was also because of this reason. He dealt with Yang Ming. I saved the opportunity to help Yang Ming create a trial environment. I let him fight with Yang Ming, and Yang Ming would also grow in every battle. But, if he was kept, wouldn't it be very dangerous? If Yang Ming couldn't win, wouldn't the consequences be unimaginable? Wang Xiaoyan finally understood Fang Tian's meaning, but she felt that Fang Tian's approach was a bit risky. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.